hope you're all well. Well, hello and welcome to Allshorts. Oh, it's working. Oh, I love it. It's working. Well, happy St. George's Day. Some of us care about St. George's Day more than others. Weren't you a Turk or a Palestinian? I can't remember now. I think so. Yeah, I think they got the wrong end of the stick here somewhere. Well, most of us would have heard of the tale of St. George, yeah, and the dragon, George and the dragon. But do you know the real history behind that legend? Yes, we're going to touch on a little bit of St. George's Day, being it's St. George's Day. Yeah, I might have a little surprise for you as well. Just in a second. But we've got to be further enough into the video to play it, you see, because it's got naughty words. Well, swear words in it. Yeah. An angry man. You know where they are. There's plenty of them on St. George's Day. They're not happy. No. They're supposed to be celebrating. But no. They're more worried about Eid. Well. Oh. The real history behind that legend. Well. The legend has it that St. George slew an evil dragon. It was setting villages afire. That ain't great, is it? No. And it was plaguing, it was, a local town. And he saved a princess. It is traditionally a Christian celebration, as far as we're concerned. As the story goes, that, well, George offered to kill the dragon, probably for money, and only if he could have the town converted to Christianity. I bet he was a Tory. Historically, evidence, however, points to, the real St. George, living in Palestine, in the 3rd century, who followed in his old Papa's father's footsteps to become a soldier in the Roman army. Oh, what, in the Roman army? Oh, was the Roman army working for the Roman government? Called Marjorie Taylor Swift, or whatever her name is. That American woman's a bit screwball. He wants to have guns in the Senate. Yeah, anyway. And was, well, executed for his Christian beliefs. Now, St. George is the patron saint of Georgia as well. And the Russian city of Moscow. Well... Now, St. George's Day became a national holiday in England in the early, 15th century, remaining until the tradition, well, somewhat dwindled with most of us, you see. And you know we got blamed for that. We've got to blame the Scots in the late 18th century. Yeah, that's the Union, you see. The Union was Scotland. Got to blame Scots for something. It's the Scots! It's not blaming the French, it's the Scots. It's got to be, isn't it, eh? Well, one individual, he isn't very happy about celebrating Eid on St. George's Day. No.
Fucking wow. You will not believe what I've just heard on this fucking GB news driving home.
Sorry.
Fuck me, I'm fucking fuming. So St. George's Day this year was going to be cancelled because it drops on end of Ramadan, which is a Muslim day called Eid. So we've got to celebrate fucking Eid instead of St. George's Day. Everybody should fetch the fucking St. George's flags out and fucking hang them high. Everybody should go out like they do on St. Patrick's Day. They won't cancel that,
Some of us do have them.
It's because it's a Christian fucking day. It's St. George's. The rest is St. George, what a fucking English patent said. So why the fuck should we cancel that day because it fucking goes same day as fucking Eid? What the fucking hell's Eid got to do with us? I'm going to fucking get dressed up as fucking St. George and I'm going to eat fucking pork all fucking day. Fuck 'em. Fucking ridiculous.
Very angry.
Fucking ridiculous. Everybody get your fucking flags out, and if you haven't got none, fucking buy one and fly it. Because it's fucking...
Are you like a crazy person?
What the fucking hell's he got to do with us? I'm gonna fucking get dressed.
Just getting the chat up, and the actual video started playing as well, the live stream. So let's have a look at this chat. Let's get this chat up. Here we got here at the moment. Oh, blimey, what a day. They're all coming out of the woodwork, including Richard Tice. He's coming out of the woodwork as well with his St. George's Stetson. I don't quite get that, but there you go. There he is on GB News. I think it was GB News or Talk. I think it might have been Talk. I think it was Talk TV or Talk Radio, whatever it is. And there he was with his. Yeah, I'll show you. Actually, I'll show you now. Can I show you now? Maybe I can show you now. I will do it in a second. Alright, but first of all, let's just check the chat. Now, I hope everyone is having a lovely St. George's Day and slaying the dragon. Alright, who we got here? Oh, blimey. You know, Ian, hello, Ben. Thanks for your messages early, mate. Mad Monk 33, hello, friend. And Vipeka Fowl. Gingers Giraffe, hello, Gingers. And P. Dollars, hello there. How are you? I've got 2 spanners. Lefty Boer IDI. I'm still using my multi-fuel in the evenings at the moment. Just been foraging for wood this afternoon. Well, it's been a bit chilly in the evenings, but during the day it's been alright. Although today it's been a bit rainy, it's been a bit wet. Ginger Wells, is he coming back? Oh. I was a bit late. I was a little bit late, but yeah, I wasn't quite ready. Still ain't ready, but there you go. I thought I'd better just go live and be done with it. Just wing it, eh? Well, Big Vengeance, hello there. My rage, it smoulders for now. Is it because of St. George's Day? Been interrupted by Eid? No? Hello there, Conservative. Heard from you for a while. I hope you're well, my friend. And Sir Larry the Captain. David Durago, hello there. Howdy, hi. With his little rainbow. And Reagan, hello Reagan, I hope you're. Hey, I've seen this snowflake before. Yeah, what's that a key? I think he's trying to tell me something. To mention something. Yes, the snowflake show. I want to have a word here anyway, Reagan, about something. I was wondering whether or not, if I did a sort of a regular Wednesday show just before yours, and then carry on streaming yours through, but trying to encourage people to come and join your channel. On the snowflake show. It's pretty good now, actually, to be honest. Yeah, I had no idea. So you think anyway. And Joa, hello Joa, the man of very long comments, but I do read them. Very good comments, actually, very informative ones. Hey Beadles, a Mad Monk 33. Have you been coerced into moderating? I have. I coerced them. Yeah. Promises. Sounds like Matori. Fake promises. I promised anything. I promised Bad Monk something because I've got to make him a sign. Although his sign, because he wants quite a lot on it. It's quite long. So we'll get it done. I did lose signs the other day actually for the rewilding project we're doing here in France, and we stuck another what? I've got to edit a video actually because I've actually made a little video about it as well. It's one of my silly little Benny Hill type videos, and we're putting the signs and the stuff out with some of the trees. And we've got flipping hell. Oh, all the ones we've been propagating ourselves, other than the ones we've been buying in. Crikey, they've gone crazy. They're hairy. I mean, like hairy as in they've got loads of leaves on them. They're like sticks where the leaves growing all over them. Yeah, that's good though, because obviously they've got roots. So that's a good sign. And also today we went and met up with an environmental group in Orador. And we did look after birds and stuff like that. And it's all about rewilding and that as well. And basically, we went to this garden show here in France. I was going to stream it, but it started pouring down the rain, and which wasn't very helpful. Anyway, we bumped into these people there who had a stand there doing their little display and hand out flyers and stuff. Even gave me a book about birds, which is quite interesting. And they're really interested because the birds we got coming to this project at the moment, to our rewilding project, and it seems to be encouraged. It seems to be working, so I'm very, very happy. And they're putting this on to people, get some tree whips and stuff, get them a lot cheaper. So hopefully, so we'll see. And Reagan, Context, hello Context, and so Larry the Cat, and Reagan, the man already, Reagan. Oh, and Nick Young, hello, Ian, good evening all, he says. I don't believe in any celebrations. That's all we need now, says Joa. and see on the bub. It's really annoying when all of a sudden, if you're doing your mobile phone, you're there, you're doing that, and you think, oh, yeah, but read that, and all of a sudden it just jumps up. Usually when you go on the websites, and obviously they're still loading up, and everything just jumps up and down all over the place. It's really annoying. Why don't you just say still or something, or stop? Hello, Daddy Blase. I hope you're well, my friend. I hope everyone nice St. George's today. Are you there? Portraying the flag. No? I can just imagine them at British First, that fake party, political party, but they're going up and down the country at the moment with their, with the geriatrics. What is it with these? They don't seem to have a mix. Any of these sort of groups, like Britain First and what have you. And then you got the other Britain First. What's that? Oh yeah, Reform UK. They were Richard Tyson, crikey, Alex Phillips, Anne Widdecombe. Oh, sorry, down there. But Anne Widdecombe, they don't seem to have anyone sort of like representing the younger generation. You could argue that Anne Phillips is, but no one in the audience. They're all kind of me and older. Angry looking. Yeah. Scary. Look at the plus side, though. The Grim Reaper will sort that one out eventually and have a younger generation, and there'll be nobody in the Reform Party. Just Alex Phillips. She's the youngest one there. No, she might be. I think she might be. Alex Phillips. Oh, she's a con woman anyway. And Nick Young. Hello. Ahoy there, Nick Young. And only one lead. Hello, Regan Elite. Oh, Vincent Brennan, even all proclaimers are removed from the King's coronation playlist by the UK government. Really? Blimey. Considering they're struggling to get people on the playlist anyway, because no one really want to play for the King anyway, well, it's pointless. They're going to sing about hex sausages or something, I don't know. Oh, Vipec and Sarin, I'm burning the last on my woodstock and got to get some more. With a fracture with a factor, a bill in a month, to get the wood stove. Oh. Well, in France, this time of year, if you, if it might be on low income people though, you got the check the energy, they've got the, if you're on wood burning stoves, they've got some help with that. You get some help with that, and also if you go to work in a petrol or diesel car or something, even on a scooter, you can get some help with that, etc., etc., etc. And also our electric, because it's ever so cheap, really, in comparison to the United Kingdom. It's been capped at 4%, and it's going to be at that until at least the end of the year now. But it's not going to go up by much anyway because it's state owned now. So EDF, that's the nuclear though. It doesn't necessarily apply to everything else. But saying that, all the like wind turbines and stuff like that, and the solar panels and what have you, well, that's a cheaper form of electric anyway, so it's good. As long as it's not too much coal. Don't want coal. No. Oh, but in the United States, no, that's in Germany. In Germany, shut down the reactors last weekend. The weekend just gone. Or this weekend? Or last weekend? This weekend. Shutting down the last of the reactors. Yo, says Sion Onabud. And Nick Young, just subscribed to Reagan Leaks channel. Wasn't aware he had one. He has now. Well, he's got his own channel. He's got shorts videos as well. At Reagan Leaks, he does daily shorts videos, and usually like it could be bits about the war and what have you in that as well, but also political stuff in general. And yeah, he's good. He's a good lad anyway, aren't you, Reagan? You're not a bad chap, really, are you? You're not too bad. Not like the others, are you? No, I don't think so. I might find out later, I suppose. We'll see. Yeah, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt for now. Cheap booze, you say? Did Boris and party animals? No. Oh, cheap booze. What's that Daddy Blase saying? What are you saying, Daddy Blase? Good evening, Regulate, Vipec and Lefty Boater, Mad Monk 33, Context and Sir Larry the Cat. I'm not too bad. Just recovering from a family party where the booze was cheap. Chips. What do you mean cheap as chips? Cheap as chips. That's cheap. It's chips there. You can drink all the time here in France. It's cheap as chips. And I've got a bottle of wine today. I'm really rationing myself. No beer. Don't buy any beer in at all anymore. And Caroline got me a bottle of wine for today. So it was quite sweet of her. But there you go. I'm trying not to drink alcohol anyway. So what happens if I drink alcohol? I eat more. And that's a problem. Because I'm fat. And I need to lose weight. It's true, you know. I'm not going to show you. No, it's too scary. Like Andrew Wintercombe about boobs. Oh, actually, no. Maybe I have. No, I haven't. I'm quite fortunate. I don't think I've got boobs. No, they're my pecs. And that's mine. Your 1 pack. I'm my 6 pack. Oh, 1 pack. Yeah. Whatever I'd call it. Anyway. Oh dear. So what has the other crazy person? We're going to get into the benefits of Brexit in a minute. And well, that move. I move that over there. But then we've got this numpty. Oh, who's that behind the watch again? And the hat. Yes, a St. George's Day Stetson. Oh, I think it's a Stetson, but it looks like some sort of American hat. You've been like St. George's Day flat cap or something, shouldn't you, really? Not that. That looks stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't to me, anyway. You know, I'm going to herd some cows. Herd cows? Or cows? Or what they call bison or something, I don't know. Anyway, so what has he been saying, this plonker? Oh, I wonder.
And then the boss said, well, your report's not very good because it doesn't have some of the basic information.
Now, if you're wondering what he's talking about, he's referring to, actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to play first. I'm going to play something else first. And the reason for that is because it's kind of... I uploaded a video this morning, about 6 o'clock this morning, which is 5 o'clock in UK time. And it's regarding Dominic Raab and his bullying. He's a bully. It's on paper now, you see. But also Gina Miller. And I did videos about this before, actually, regarding Gina Miller. And Gina Miller... No! I haven't even had a sip hardly yet, and it's gone to my head already. Well, Gina Miller, she took the government to court to make sure that the Brexit... the Trade Corporation Agreement, what have you, or whatever it was, it went to Parliament. Yeah. So Dominic Raab, he got a bee in his body, made him have to do some work. Yeah, he wasn't very happy. No. So I uploaded, let's get rid of that saying, and I'm just going to play this one to you. I hope that's okay. And you might have seen it already. It's the video I uploaded this morning, but there's a couple of points in there for which Richard Tice is making some comments regarding Gina Miller's experience in reference to Dominic Raab being a bully.
I think it's very dangerous that we are setting the bar so low for this, that being in office requires people with backbone.
Gina, so I want to start with you because
Dominic Raab,
big bully, is you yourself had an experience with Raab which makes you think he is a bully.
Well, they're two different things. I've had personal experience where he was a bully to me, but this is
in what way?
So I was doing a morning Today programme, coming down from the show. So we were getting into the lift, and as the doors shut, he sort of, in a really angry rage, sort of really seething voice.
Like what?
Can't work out if you're just a silly bitch, stupid, rich woman with sort of those, I mean, the whole thing was just unbelievable encounter, or just naive. You know, it's just this barrage of words at me with this real anger. Before I was so taken aback.
I don't support the Human Rights Act, and I don't believe in economic and social rights.
But before I could say anything, I mean, I don't think I could have said anything. I was just so stunned. The doors opened, and there was a young runner there who sort of said that my car was there. There was some mix-up with his car, and he then shouted to the young runner, "Go and get me my effing car." I mean, this guy was shaking. He was just a youngster, but his behaviour was just so aggressive. It was horrendous.
He called you a silly bitch?
Yeah. Or if I was naive.
Dominic Raab called you a silly bitch?
Yeah.
But yet you continue to trash her.
OK, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no.
Sorry. Do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, mate, but not my own stuff.
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do
this.
this.
Is absolutely diabolical behaviour.
Yeah, but if that's the way he spoke to a high-profile woman at the time, privately, when he doesn't think people are watching...
Well, the thing is, I think it's because he saw me as being lesser than himself.
Yeah,
I think that's what...
let me bring in Isabel, because I think you came here to be defensive of him. But when you hear that as a woman, what do you think?
It's not even as a woman. I'm just actually shocked.
I think that you're taking some very selective points.
Should anyone be Deputy Prime Minister who calls women silly bitches?
I mean, that is indefensible. That's obviously the first I've heard of it. Truly shocking. And one would like to say, frankly, no. I mean, that's just an extraordinary way to carry on with anybody.
You know, I've always looked at Raab and just thought he always looks permanently angry and has one of those mean faces. Because it shows to me this is a guy who talks to women like you like that.
Behaviour,
It says to me he's
which is
just a nasty
bullying.
piece of work and a bully.
Which is bullying.
I think his resignation was unnecessary, and I think the Prime Minister should not have accepted it.
Am I dreaming? No. Where am I? In bed? What am I doing?
So there he is, Richard Tice, making out that, oh, it's so terrible, oh, can't believe something like that, and all that, you know. And then, on Talk TV, he happens to say this. But first of all, I'm going to check the chat. It's just, I've got a very short memory. I mean, literally like a day, you know. And that particular video, they're all trying to make out that, well, didn't know about this. No, never heard of this one before. Flippin' now, Ray, Byline TV. Hello. My slippers. Byline TV put that up about January, February time this year, and there's been little things that she's wrote about it before as well. So say that they didn't know about this stuff when you're actually in the media, they knew. That's why she was there, to make the show, because they knew her about her experiences. So it's all a whole load of, how to put it, yeah.
What a load of bollocks!
And then we have Richard Tice saying what he has to say on Talk TV, which we'll check and have a look at in a minute. But before I do, I want to see what you're saying. What are you saying in the chat in reference to this, eh? How do you feel about it? Hello, Mike. I just watched an interview of Jen Montgomery, in which he stated that if you want to lead, then you should control yourself. Raab should learn from him. Yes. That's something that his opposition was saying. Not opposition. Who was that now? Oh, I've got his name now. Labour geezer. He was saying this morning, well, considering that there's no other complaints against any other ministers, obviously you can get the so-called blob to do what they need to do as part of their job and what have you, without bullying them. It's just rubbish. It's just absolute rubbish. The whole thing is just making excuses for their own failures. Oh no, we can't get this through. We can't get this done. Can't get that done. I know who do we blame. Let's blame the civil service. Can you imagine working for these people? Oh my giddy aunt. Hello, Lee, my friend. Hello, Reagan. Cheers, buddy. There are so many bullies in this government, and they just get away with it, like Priti Patel did. Just got to get around the Prinster. Yes. Him and his oven-ready deal.
We got an oven-ready
So,
deal.
you have accepted the truth.
Oh, apparently I have. That's a time and a half. Cheers, buddy. Yep, there's loads of them. If they're not bullies, they're molesters, or they, some kind of sex offender, or they like watching porn. Yeah, tractor porn especially is the best, apparently. Quite funny though. Well, I can't remember his name now, but that politician. Oh, God, I'll come to him in a minute. Do you know when you do this, you have to remember so much stuff, and half of it just come out of your head because they're in room for all. But anyway, it's he was in Parliament watching naughty porn on his phone, but when you do search afterwards, when it's all hit the fan, all shit hit the fan, literally, all that poop, I'm not talking about the rivers and seas, I'm talking about Parliament. Yeah, the fact he was there on his phone. Oh, Sam Widdicombe. You know that kind of stuff. Well, anyway, you do a search for tractor porn. He was the first. He was up the top. And underneath that, the half-naked bodies and that with a John Deere. That sort of thing is right up my street. I'll tell you, it's so funny. That's my kind of crazy humour. Hello. I've got a dog here now. It's a Wally. Hello, Wally. How are you? Oh, let's see a Wally. Actually, I could use this camera here. Maybe that'll see it. Maybe that one will be better. There you go. Maybe not. No. Okay, let's go back on that one. Unclip that. I need some light down there. That's what I need. Hey, there he is. Oh, it's dark. It's dark. It's light up here, but dark down there. And there's a bear. Do you want treats? I'll show you what treats now, don't you? God, they're pain, aren't they? It's been pestering, yes. Sebastian's looking over. Oh, no, I've got another one coming along now. Here comes Adora. Look at them. Look, there comes. Can you see her? Coming in the dark. Yeah, you can just see her bed. Pandora's bed, just in the doorway. There she is. Coming your way, Dora. Anyway, the auras. That's what they are. Gotta love them though. You have to, otherwise, they drive you insane. Because they do. Absolutely drive you insane. But there you go. They're lovely little fellas. Yeah, Sebastian, Wally, and Pandora. And she can hear food. Not just smell it, she hears it. It's like that she got 6 cents for food. Yeah. Feed the Wally! Hashtag. Nice one. Hashtag feed the Wally. Feed Wally. Doggos, yes. Which one is the tractor and which one is the... It's a witty comedy. Yeah, well, the combined witty comedy. Feeling a bit off. Oh, sorry, there, Duke. Wally Vision, yeah, Pandora over there. I have to make sure I've got some better light at the back there for that. I have to put the lights on. Neil Parrish, that's it. Neil Parrish with the tractor porn, that's him. Look at the tyres on that John Deere. Oh, that tyre. Oh. Look at that tailpipe. Anyway, where were we? Used to be the Brits who were famous for composure. Now they are famous for compost in Parliament, literally. And Mugler beeps if you want a message. Does not appear straight away. It's helpful review. Oh. I just watched an interview with Jen Montgomery. Done that one. Dave Blase, good evening, Ben Riddings. Absolutely. The lefty booter. 270 a pint of Prava and Carving. I was beloved on 20 quid. Bear hair is okay on price if you get it from the supermarkets. But if it's quite expensive in the actual bars, bistros. But wine is ridiculously cheap. The fascist blonde, yeah, she is. She's awful, absolutely awful. Well, him, this nasty old cretin, and then we'll get on to benefits of Brexit. Just not for England. There's a couple of stories that come through I thought you might be interested in. Anyway. Yeah. Oh dear.
And then the boss said, well, your report's not very good because it doesn't have some of the basic information. Oh dear, but the person who wrote the report was a bit upset and viewed that as personal criticism because it was carried out in front of other people in the meeting.
What is he trying to achieve with this? This is a reference to the report on Dominic Raab.
Diddums.
Don't say that. He stole that. Well, he didn't steal, it was old, but diddums. Yeah, what was the other one? Whoop-de-boo.
Whoop-de-doo! I've sat in thousands of meetings. I've chaired hundreds and hundreds of meetings.
And I'm happy to bully every bugger, and they never seem to mind, no.
I've run businesses small, medium and big. That's the whole point of meetings. You read the papers before, you look at them, and then you chew it around.
By the way, he's reading off a teleprompter.
A bunch of folk.
Oh, he bit his tongue.
And you make decisions, and you challenge, and you probe, and you test, and you get to the right answer. And you work it out. And you might well say, I want some changes to this. I need some more information on that.
That's not the point. It's how you project yourself. Dominic Raab is an aggressive man. He's got precedence, you know. He's not a very nice bloke.
And I want it sharpish. You do that in a business on behalf of your shareholders. And if you're working for the government, you do it on behalf of the people who pay your salaries, which is us, the taxpayers. And we, the taxpayers, don't want our money, our cash wasted. So we want you to perform. I don't care if it's a little bit of personal criticism.
Personal criticism? What did Dominic Raab call Gina Miller? Remember, she's a professional woman, what have you. It's totally disrespectful. And then I don't know what to make of you. I think you're a bit of a silly bitch or something like that. And it's just totally unprofessional. And he would be taken back. I think Moses, what the fuck? Apart from the fact he's pretty good at karate. So I've been, yeah. I don't know. I got a brown belt in karate, then I gave up. But anyway, he'd have me. It's scary.
But apparently, according to this King's Council, if there's a little personal criticism, that's intimidation. Get real. I mean, honestly.
So there he was. Dominic Raab is so terrible. And now he's trying to defend him. Now, I wonder if his missus is going to be doing the same. I forgot her name as well now. Well, she's... Oh, the one with the WhatsApp messages leak for Matt Hancock. Remember? Oh my God, my mind's gone astray. But it's absolutely ludicrous. Literally a couple of days ago, he's actually criticising Dominic Raab, and now he's trying to defend him. What a flippin' hypocrite! Just like flippin' Piers Morgan, who was the one who got me struck off. Well, I got striked, didn't I? You know, for about a week because I criticised Piers Morgan, and apparently I was bullying him. And there they go all about this. Oh, a little bit of intimidation. Oh well, say la vie. I've got over it. Oh, dear me. Well, thankfully, Richard Tice is never going to be the one who runs Britain. I very much doubt he's ever going to make that headway. No. If he does, it'll be for a very short period of time because all the people that support him will be dead anyway. Sorry to say it as I say it. They're like Brexiters. How many of them are gone? Was it over 59% now who want to think about, when there's no benefits of Brexit, so to speak, or it's not going very well. So, yeah, that is a whole load of bollocks. Absolutely a whole load of bollocks. These people, they're just off they're crazy. That's what they are. Absolutely bonkers. And they're going about benefits of Brexit. And that's so great, isn't it? We had Jeremy Hunt going on about the benefits of Brexit. And Silicon Superpower. Oh dear. Well, there's one individual we should be listening to, and he's a geezer who was one of the founders of a very, very large, semiconductors company. ARM. Yeah. Well, they're just about floating their shares in the United States and not London. What the way that is. Well, yeah. It's not going too well. So they're shipping out. They are. And in reference to, the chances of the UK being the next Silicon Valley. Obviously, it'd be great if it was. Yeah, of course it would. But it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. No one wants to invest in the UK. We haven't got an easy route into the EU. Like Adam Posson said. He said that people came to the, set up business. Oh, no, that's Andy Haldane. Was it Andy Haldane? Andy Posson? Anyway, I think it's Adam Posson. And he was saying that people invest in the EU, in the United Kingdom, because they've got a route to the EU. So you can sell in the UK and in the rest of the EU as well. But not now. Well, you can if you want to pay the tariffs and you don't have to deal with loads of red tape. So what these companies do, they set up elsewhere, don't they? Generally in the EU. Whether it be banking or manufacturing, car manufacturing, whatever. And then you got that Ratcliffe geezer with his Grenadier, that Land Rover, and he said he's got a set up factory in the south of Wales. 1 minute he's saying about his electric Grenadiers going south of Wales. No, not now. Oh, got to be in the EU, isn't they? Bigger market. Why wouldn't you? If you're going to make the investment, you're going to make the investment where you're going to get the biggest return. That's what kind of makes sense to me. I think it makes sense to most people. I don't understand why they keep flogging this dead horse, Brexit. I don't understand why Labour's doing the same thing. I just don't get it. And now we've got, what's going on today regarding Diane Abbott. I was really disappointed with that. I really was. And it's just shocking. Absolutely shocking. Basically, she was saying that you can't be a victim of racism if you haven't got black or brown skin. Yeah. What a load of rubbish. The Irish are subjected to racism? Don't be funny, every race is, That's kind of comes with the territory of being a race. Crazy. And obviously, the Jewish population in the UK obviously looks upon this and think, hang on, what's going on here? They've already had a whole load of issues regarding Jeremy Corbyn having Keir Starmer sort of jumped on that, I suppose, and now he's jumped on, well, not literally, because that's a scary thought, to Diane Abbott. And then she's saying that the letter that she sent in response to this particular article that was written in the, I think it's a Guardian piece, or was it Independent piece? I think it's an Independent piece, and where this article is basically saying that racism is pretty much everywhere in different, it's more complicated than just black, racism against black minority groups, or and she wrote this letter, and it's basically saying, well, no, unless you're black, and it's you can't be a victim of racism. But that's just rubbish. That's just rubbish. How about the racial slurs against the Irish, for instance? It's, and obviously Jewish population as well. And what was the Holocaust? No, okay. I'm not going to say they didn't suffer, because obviously they did, and the racism was severe and absolutely horrendous. And as a grandfather with black grandchildren, it does worry me. It really does. So, yeah. Anyway, I digressed a little bit, didn't I? So Brexit and make Brexit work. Well, that's never going to happen. No, it's just ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It's numbers, isn't it? It's just numbers and route to access. It's it doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me. None whatsoever. So, Dobby Gravelman. Entitled, yes. If you don't stay in one place, you are right. Oh, lefty boat, lefty boat, lefty boat, lefty boat, lefty boat, lefty boat. I actually got called a water gypsy yesterday. I quite like that term. There's something romantic about that one. I quite like that one. Sorry. If you're moving about, you'd be potentially a gypsy, but you wouldn't be a Normandy gypsy, would you? No. And my father used to, oh, crikey. When he used to have a place called Cossey, and growing up, basically, there was a travelling, travellers that come to, like Normandy gypsies, what have you, with like the circus acts and stuff like that, and also, fair type rides and stuff, and like big flying carpet they had. Anyway, my dad would get invited over, as a kid, for food and what have you, with, it's not a sit-down meal, it's just, sit around a campfire type thing. And they pull out these, what looked like lumps of clay out the fire. They crack them open, like that. What's inside them? A hedgehog! And they bake them in clay, so it takes all the skin and all the little, pines, pines will come off, and one just leaves the cooked flesh. Poor little blighters. It's a bit like, eating guinea pigs, isn't it? Like they do in Peru. Is it Peru? Is it Peru they eat guinea pigs? Cocon? So anyway, so these little Normandy gypsies and travellers and what have you. And it's just how things used to be back then. But when kids grow up, it's parental influence is the key driver of racism amongst kids. It's about who you are brought up with or you grow up around. Unfortunately, it's not always good, is it? The most ignorant thing I've ever heard about racism, yes. What, me? Not seen any coverage of John Curtis on the Brexit polls. More support for rejoining the EU than at any time since the referendum it is. But they just keep the benefits of breakfast. The benefits of Brexit. What benefits? There's just nothing there, is there? So anyway, please boot the old like button. And there will be a secret word at the end of this video. Oh no, there won't actually, because of the live stream. Sorry. Well, I made my comment about racist Diane. I won't go there again. Oh, what? Oh, I haven't read that. I haven't been on this afternoon because I was at this fair thing. So I will check that. Are people being nasty? I'll have a look. Obviously, with some people, garden. Because some people say give Diane Abbott a fair, she's apologised and all that. I think it was too late for that. I think it's too late. I think she apologised a good time, but she sent it and she wrote it. It just tells everybody what she's really thinking. To actually write that in the first place, that's what she believes. And to backtrack on it now doesn't have any value. The only thing I would say is there's a lot of hypocrisy here regarding the Tories like Grant Shapps, what have you, having a go at Diane Abbott. When the guy that he standing beside in front of that Boeing with a flag on the tail, him, Alexander Boris Steffel Johnson, he airbrushed him out, had him photoshopped out. That guy's Alexander Boris Steffel Johnson with his oven ready deal and all that. Well, think about what he said and wrote in columns and what have you. You don't get the vitriol. It's like, it's Boris Johnson, it's what he does, Diane Abbott says anything, even though I do agree this is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it's I don't agree with what her thinking at all regarding that. It's just a shame though, because she has done a lot of good, but it makes you wonder what her thinking has been for decades. Has it always been this way? Probably. Starmer is an extremely weak leader. I don't know. I don't know if he is or he isn't, to be honest. I'll be absolutely honest with you. I don't do any real videos on Labour as a whole, because they don't perform on my channel. Anything I do regarding the Labour Party, Keir Starmer, or anything like that, they're just dead ducks. People don't want to watch them, so I don't bother. It's a bit of sad because there's lots of other things I would like to talk about. I'd like to talk more about the environment. I've said this before. On this channel, they just don't perform. I think I'd have to maybe do my other channel a bit more. Hopefully, maybe you'd get a different client. You'd get different people, wouldn't you? I suppose. It's like today. We were at this fair and talked to these people about birds and that. They also campaign against solar panels on the fields because there's been a lot go up around here. I haven't got a problem with them. Two reasons. One is they produce obviously electricity, and once they're installed, that's pretty much it. You haven't got to do nothing. They don't cost anything or very little, a bit of maintenance to actually keep producing electricity. Unlike obviously, arguments I don't know, nuclear even was you got a lot of staff and people got to work these things, and not just cheap people, not somebody who's going to go around like window clean or something like that. Although window cleaners can be expensive, but you're talking about scientists, big brains and stuff, and they cost a lot of money. So to me, it's a no-brainer in lots of ways. But the other thing I say about solar panel, I mentioned this in the previous video actually, the one I've talked about how our soil, our land is becoming overworked, and it's become light, and it's got no body to it, we don't have no loam in it, and also there's been reports where it's basically blowing away. The topsoil has become so light, it's literally blowing away. And they reckon by 2050, a lot of the topsoil will be depleted. Not just in the UK, everywhere. The wind's basically blowing the topsoil away. Now, if you've got things like these solar panels and stuff like that, that land is getting a chance to regenerate. And it's getting a chance to, build up its loam and insects and worms and stuff doing its thing in the ground. So you're getting a nice, it's like leaving land fallow. Because you're not going to really farm that land properly. You could put some cattle around, some sheep around it, or stuff like that. But you can't do much else. No, it's going to be left alone. So in that way, you're protecting the land. See, what these people were trying to tell me was that it's damaging the land. Okay, visually, they're not pretty. I actually like them. So to me, it's what they stand for in the sense it's free electric. That means we haven't got to produce that much. It's generally power for a local community somewhere, so it hasn't got to travel. Oh no, we've got an Admiral Cook, Z. We've got Russian trolls. We don't want them. There you go. Choose one. I can't do. Gone. I think they're gone. Admiral Cook with Z. You know what that means? It's about Russia, isn't it? It's a symbol, isn't it? It's not even in their alphabet. So why are they using it? Oh! Well. The Admiral's risen from his grave, apparently. I'll say I don't think he is a weak per se, but he is very beholden. Yeah, I think so. To influence. Well, why was he following the Brexit? He wasn't a Brexiter. He's not a Brexiter now. No, he's doing it just to gain the red wall, to try and bring the red wall back on board. They're going to come back on board anyway. No, I don't know if you saw it, but on the Question Time, one bloke, he looks a bit of a gammon, but one bloke on there, he said he didn't vote for the Tories. He said that he voted for... Cheers, Mad Monk! He said he voted for... to get rid, to stop Jeremy Corbyn becoming Prime Minister. That was his reasoning. I don't think it's a very good reason, but there you go. That was his reason. So these people like to come back to Labour or another party, probably maybe Reform, or maybe Britain First or something like that. Lovely. I know a feeling I would have moved again, but I own a house now, so it's not. That's the only thing. Houses can be a burden. Hello, Lee Corn. Agrovoltaics, yeah. Panels give shade to the plants underneath. Agrovoltaics are the ones where you talk about the ones where they're suspended above the fields on wires, and they rotate. They can twist the panels as well, light in or point the panels to for the most efficiency. They're doing some trials here in France, aren't they? So basically they can farm the land underneath the panels because the tractors go underneath. I can see some problems with that, but regarding cattle, would be like, why not? The grass is still going to grow. In fact, it might grow better because you won't have that hot sun pounding down on that grass in August, which it does here. It's going to provide a little bit of shade when you need it. So I think it's brilliant. Lefty Bill, I am very restless now. Oh, okay. Gingers wants to go nomading. You're a nomad, Gingers. You've got a bit of nomading. Solar panels are good, but I'm not sure if covering a farmland and taking it out of production. It depends where you are, Mike. Here in France, I don't think it really matters. We've got 2.5 times more land than you got in the UK. We've got vast amounts of farmland that isn't even farmed. It's already fallow. So, I don't think it's a huge issue here. And they can't have it always, but, most people do losing a few pounds. So don't just produce less food. That might work, Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I actually quite like them in many ways. I've got solar panels there on my land, Mrs. Suspenders. Oh, okay. So Larry the cat. Agrovoltaics. Very interesting, that is. God, fancy getting the flip. I usually get like porn bots. Yeah, and this time I got like Russian bots. Well, it's just like this flipping. Who got their alert today in the UK? Got your alert? Do you feel safer? No, I had a thought about this. This flipping alert. That's quite a high pitched sound. What good is that with people with depleted hearing? If you're deaf, it's the high pitches you lose. There should be a mix. There should be in two-tone, low and high. But no. Oh, it's like a squeal. That's just ridiculous. But they don't think, do they? They really don't think. They don't know what they're doing. They really don't. And also, this app, this thing that they put on your phones, it can be hacked by Russians. Yeah. Block the trolls, yeah. Pain, aren't they? Snoring again, are we? Oh, okay. I don't think I am. They put the panels above the farmland so you can still farm it, yeah. That's free electricity and higher yields. It's a win-win. Yeah, they can almost like, I don't know, it's like sun blinds, like Venetian blinds. They're trialling them at the moment, yeah. Hello, Bernard. Ha, Russian bots, you're going up in the world. I need to do some videos against Russians. I'll tell you what I have got here. Oh dear. What have I got? Not that one. I've obviously got that one. That's obviously very important. And oh, there we go. I'm just gonna have to let him finish, just because I can. I've got to admit, he's a dude, isn't he? Oh dear. Anyway, I don't know if you've seen this. He was giving a speech to a load of his, well, I thought they were sycophants until I watched this. Oh, he didn't show it properly. Oh my god, what's going on there? Scroll ahead, that's it, scroll ahead, there you go. He's waiting for him to clap. I think he's losing support. That's his face. Clap then. Come on, clap. I'm waiting. Gonna clap with that. Don't clap. I've got to chop off your head. Oh dear me. He's now going, look. No clapping. It's like they weren't told to clap. You got to clap, you know. What's up, Wally? Oh, dogs, eh? He's almost the same size as the podium. You notice how he swings his hand like that? That's because to do with the, you know, I mean, KGB and all that. We've always been ready for your, yeah. So you got one hand always ready for the gun. I saw this. Not a single ambassador clapped. No. And what did he expect from the foreign ambassadors? They probably didn't want to be there in the first place. Exactly. Block the alerts if you don't trust the Tories. Yeah. I don't trust anybody, really. Not them lot. I know you've obviously got Russians trying to hack it as well, apparently. It's vulnerable. It's vulnerable. And that's what brings me on to talk about mobile phones. And this geezer down here. Now, this guy here is Herman Hauser. I don't know if I spelled it right. It might be Husey. I don't know. But or was it Herman House? Herman Hauser? Herman Hauser? Is it Herman Hauser? Anyway, he's a clever geezer, and he started ARM, which is this. And they make stuff like that. You know,
the world runs on ARM.
All in your mobile phone.
Where a tiny thing means everything. From town square to Times Square, ARM is defining the future of computing. A future built by one of the most successful technology ecosystems in the world. We fueled the smartphone revolution and will power every technology revolution moving forward. We are defining the next universal mobile experience and redefining what's possible in IoT and automotive, in cloud computing and the metaverse. A 30-year history of trust and security, and a legacy of energy and power efficiency brings hope for a sustainable future. We changed the world one.
There you go. By doing that, that's it. The EU now setting up. Lots of factories have been built in the EU now, making semiconductors, but they'll take years before they're ready. Absolutely years. These things are not, you know, are not basic bits of kit. Anyway, now Jeremy Corbyn said that the UK was going to be the next kind of Silicon Valley, so to speak. You know, a silicon superpower. Well, listen to what he had to say.
The Chancellor, as you may know, has said that he wants the UK to be the next Silicon Valley. What are the chances of that happening, in your view?
Zero.
Really? Why do you say that?
When it comes to semiconductors, Britain is a minnow and always will remain a minnow. There are only 3 technology sovereignty circles. I'm just writing a book on technology sovereignty. There's the US, China, and Europe are the only areas that have a chance of having some resemblance of technology sovereignty. And Britain, you know, Brexit in a way was the biggest loss of British sovereignty since 1066, because the only way that Britain gets some degree of sovereignty is by hopefully being part of Europe, of course, and it's unlikely that we'll be part of China. And I hope Britain doesn't want to become the 51st state of the United States.
And finally, the massive UK-based global silicon chip design firm ARM, which you helped found, announced in March it was launching on the New York, or it would float its shares, I should say, in New York instead of London. Why?
Well, London is just too small and doesn't have the sort of technology coverage that New York has.
It's quite sad, really, isn't it? It's like watching the country sort of implode on itself, really. It's not great. And yet they keep trying to flog that dead horse. Because I put the cross in the right box, you know. I did. I'm sure you guys and gals did as well. If you're entitled to vote, that is. That's one problem. Obviously, if you've been living here every 15 years, you wouldn't have been entitled to vote. That was the other crazy thing, even though it affected you probably more than anybody. It's nuts. The whole thing's nuts, it is. So Jeremy Hunt saying it's going to be superpower. He's saying no. And he's reacting to the negativities of Brexit. He's basically moving everything abroad because it's route to access again into the EU, as well as obviously the United States. And the other thing at the United States is offering huge subsidies for tech firms to move to the United States. Obviously, it makes sense. You know, they're basically trying to buy in the tech, companies in, and lessen their dependency on China. It makes a lot of sense. You know, globalization is great in some ways. In other ways, it doesn't help our security. In some ways, it should, because when you're trading with countries, generally you want to be on a peaceful footing, don't you? That's the thing I don't understand about what China's doing. Russia, I obviously don't like it, but I'm not surprised. But China, I am a bit surprised that they're pushing for Taiwan. No, they all know full well that they will get sanctioned to hell. But the problem is, we'll be the ones who will be doing the real suffering. Maybe China knows that sanctions on China will be nothing like they are on Russia. Okay, we're very dependent on Russian oil and what have you. But can you imagine it if China invades Taiwan, they got boots on the ground, what have you, and they take over that factory? Well, then they've got the chips. That's like what's going on with we're talking about globalization and relying on other countries too much. Russia's been doing the same. They can't actually, they can't mend their tanks. No, they've got tanks that need either maintenance. All the tanks that they're built, whether it be the old ones would be the T70s, T80s, and these newer ones, they haven't got the ball bearings. Something as simple as a flippin' ball bearing, a round ball of steel, and they can't access them because they were originally buying from the United States and from the EU. Yeah, in most cases Germany. So, and now they can't get hold of these ball bearings. So they're having supply chain issues, just like the United Kingdom, because their numpties voted for Brexit. But they're doing the exact same thing. They've basically got themselves sanctioned, and they can't access a lot of this stuff. And some of it isn't going to be, won't necessarily be available via parallel imports. No, so it just doesn't make sense. The whole thing is just completely well, it makes sense, is it? No, I suppose. The British battery manufacturers are saying that they may leave the UK for the US due to subsidies. Yes, because you got that British Volt, which went bankrupt. They got bought up, I think, in the end by an Australian company, if I remember rightly. Yeah, and Duke Venture says, but ball bearings are so easy to make. But you're talking about, they're not just the ball bearings, they're going to be the ball racers and needle bearings and all that sort of stuff. So there's manufacturing. They are still easy to make. If you've got the manufacturing to do it, if you set, Russia hasn't. Their car industry is pretty much flat on its face. And talking about parallel imports, a lot of the car brands now can be imported into Russia via these parallel imports, because they've been added to the list. Loads of car manufacturers have, and they're not. In some cases, they've been imported directly from the countries that are actually sanctioning Russia. Duh. So anyway, yes, ball bearings are so basically, Vladimir Putin has lost his balls. He ain't got enough balls. No, steel balls, but not enough balls. So the Welsh semiconductor industry is closing down with, oh yes, I remember that, 600 odd job losses. They've got a habit due to Brexit. Well, they've got a habit of doing things like that. We've obviously got car manufacturing components. A lot of them have been closing down. Oh, crikey. Just loads of them been closing down. In fact, I don't know if we've got any in the UK now. They keep moving to the EU. I wonder why that is. Doesn't help the car industry, does it? No. Although there's a global shift in cars. Got to go to electric, you see. Got to have extension needs. So Chinese cars in Russia now are as expensive as Mercedes was in Russia. And the Mercedes are now 5 times more expensive, yet they are still well, they've got crazy about that. They don't care about that money they've got. Especially if you're dealing with oil and that as well. Swedish are the best ball bearing producers in the world, and that's fact. Apparently. Okay, Vypek. Where's the evidence? And Jasper Edwards says, do they need CO2 for ball bearing? Maybe. I don't know if they do or not, to be honest. But, crikey. But you think in Germany, they've got a lot of foundries and what have you build these things. Make the ball bearings and other stuff like that. Oh, thank you very much. How will the City of London look after Euro clearings? Oh my God, was it 2025? Oh, you put it down. Yeah, so there's about 2 trillion a day that goes through London. About 2 trillion euros, 2 or 3 trillion euros a day.
You have accepted
apparently.
the truth.
That's what I read somewhere. It was a while ago I read that, so I might be wrong. But if it's a day goes cleared through London, and if that is removed and go to one of the exchanges in the EU, that's another. Obviously, the UK gets paid. The city gets a certain amount. Gets a percentage of that 2 trillion going through. It might be 0.00 because I like the 0.08. Is it? Yeah, that's something to do with the TPP, Trans-Pacific Partnership. Yeah. Even looks even worse than what it was originally for, but there you go. Kemi Badenoch seems happy with the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Hello, Wally. Oh, Pandora's back there now as well. You see, there she is. Look, sprawled out. Oh, she heard her name. We got Sebastian. No, not Sebastian. No. Will she catch it? No. Oh, there. It's usually a good catch. Not your face. What are you sniffing there? What are you sniffing? Huh? He's a nut. Yeah, that's going to cause so much grief. We've got Euroclear, and that's another benefit of Brexit for the EU, isn't it? I suppose I better get into my benefits of Brexit for these particular places. What particular place in particular is Italy? Done quite well at Brexit. I don't know if you heard, but they've actually been trying to encourage people to migrate to Italy. People with money, like for instance, I don't know, people want to start businesses and stuff like that, and they're giving, I suppose about 70% reduction in taxation and all that sort of stuff. I think that's Italy as well, where they were offering wads of cash. Come and move here, we'll give you money. I think there's one or two like towns or provinces or something in Italy. So it's interesting stuff, really. That countries see they can see the benefits of migration, but nobody else can. I'll tell you who else can is if anybody's seen. I'm uploading a video tomorrow morning. I've got to finish editing it tonight. But Andy Haldane was being interviewed by Sophie Ridge. It's a really good interview. It's a bit kind of very slow talker. So he drags on a bit, but he's so clued up. And I did a video about Andy Haldane. He's like the beast of the...
you have accepted
thank you very much, Galaxy Fur. Oh, Russia is using 1940s era tanks and 1930s supply trucks on the front lines now. Crikey. A new Ukrainian offensive is going to start up soon. Let's hope they make headway there. Fingers crossed. Yeah, Andy Haldane, he about 2 years, but over a year ago, I made a video about him when he was saying what happened was he left the Bank of England because him and Barclay geezer, not Barclay, what's his name? Oh, crikey. Oh, the governor of the Bank of England, the current governor of the Bank of England. They had a bit of a loggerheads because Andy Haldane said about a year before they actually did it, or started it, that we needed to increase interest rates. Back then, and if we did, we'd have a better ground and we'd have a foot in the door. And I've mentioned it in loads of my videos about that because I just felt this was absolute madness. Considering how things were going, we needed it back then, to try and stimulate and to hold down inflation. But no, in there, they didn't. So, drag your heels until it's too late, and then the effects of increasing interest rates take longer to take effect. We might not have had to increase them as far, but now we're going to be more. By the end, probably by October, it's going to be around 5%. Penny or bone. Hello, Florskins. Oh, Box is the biggest fan. Hello there. Hope you're well. Ahoy there. Ahoy. Set to. We've got CT Hullock as well. The eye. CT Hullock, duck.
So, you have accepted the truth.
Kevin Slims, hello there. Thank you very much. Didn't hear my sounds. Where will the city find services to fill the loss from Euroclearance? Well, they probably won't. They'll probably end up relocating. A lot of people working in these places, they're going to look for jobs elsewhere. And if banking industry and the services industry are setting up in the EU because of loss of bank passport, they've got memorandums of understanding and all that sort of stuff. And they set up in the EU because they have to be in the EU to operate. And you can't just rent an office somewhere and put a brass plaque on the wall. You've got to operate in that country. Holland, for instance, caught onto that one because that's what a lot of businesses were just doing. They're just renting space or registering their business in Holland, but they weren't operating in Holland, which is against, obviously, the law, I suppose. So they stopped all that. So you can't do that now. Apparently. I'm sure it goes on, but, Oh, what it was. Okay. Ahoy. Oh, it's going to hurt, but I think it needs to happen to wake people up to the damage being done to the UK. I don't want people to suffer, but they already are. Unfortunately, yes. Let's get worse. That really worries me, because I know I joke and laugh about all this stuff, but I do have family in the UK, and I don't want them to suffer, obviously. I was just speaking earlier to my little granddaughter. We have a granddaughter, not Yasmin's granddaughter. I've got too many of them. Got 10 very soon. Well, not granddaughters, grandchildren. Yeah, another one coming very soon. Oh, this is crikey. Oh my God. A lot of the paramedics are deciding to leave the profession, the ambulance service. They're deciding, well, it's too much for me now. We've had enough. That's what they're doing. Working elsewhere. Get paid more, probably. And obviously that's going to cause a whole load of problems. Now, my mother-in-law was over about 2 weeks ago. She hadn't had a doctor's appointment for a recurring chest infection. She's 81 years old. And ever since the end of the transition period, but also, obviously, the pandemic, she hasn't been able to get a doctor's appointment. It's always been a phone-up thing and what have you. Then you might be able to get a prescription or something. I've not seen her. Well, while she's over, we took her to the doctor's here in France, and she saw Dr. Claire. And she prescribed her these medications and stuff like that and checked her over and stuff like that. And we got an appointment the same day. The same day she went to see the doctor. That's the difference. It's people are suffering, and it's not going to get any easier. Because the way they're obviously the NHS staff, frontline workers, what have you, the way they've been treated regarding, pay, for instance. I know it's always about money. Of course, it's about money. They've got to live. And why should they have their pay cut and cut and cut? Like the junior doctors, what's that analogy with the bean can? Something like back then they could buy 24 cans of beans, but now they can only buy 8. So to speak, something like that. Maybe not even that, but it's because their wages have been, they haven't been moving, they haven't been growing with inflation over several years since Tory's been in, basically, And the Tories say, oh, austerity and all that sort of stuff. We're all going to tighten our belts and what have you. And what happens? Nothing recovers. It won't do. Not with interest rates where they were that low. You got no buffer. We had no movement. So when things look a bit bad, we can't go any lower. You know, I'm sure they'd have tried to. I was like, 0.25% or what? You know, we got down to 0.25% interest. It's nuts, something like that. You really think it will lead to an IMF bailout? I don't think it will. International monetary. Well, we've been there before, haven't we? But I don't think it's going to happen. No. The UK's heading in a bad direction, but I don't forget the Tories aren't going to be in much longer. And I would hope that, I know some people think he's a weak leader, and I would hope he's a sensible leader, Keir Starmer. He's not stupid. He's not stupid. And he doesn't thrive on, apart from these latest posters, he don't thrive on that same old playground antics like the Tories do. You know, the Tories, all their time is sucked up with scandals. How much time and energy has been spent on reports, investigations, Partygate, Boris Johnson, Dominic Raab, and others? Just one after the other, isn't they? You know, so it's just scandal after scandal and scandal, and you know, obviously civil service and the HOC and what have you. It's going just overrun with it. Just too much to deal with, and the jobs don't get done. The jobs that matter, that matter for the people. They keep saying about the money. We've got to have the money for the people and all that. We're spending your money, so we've got to do what you want. But then let's get spent on crap. Stuff we wouldn't have needed to do unless you've got some idiot in government doing something pretty idiotic that requires investigation. Oh, these investigations, they're not cheap, are they? They cost a lot of money. Oh, I just saw somebody. Who was it? Ooze 2400. Well, the Tories are still working on Johnson's promise to let the bodies pile high. I think in normal circumstances that would be enough to take, take him out, wouldn't it? That was disgusting. That's what the civil servants said. They backed up that report, regarding, that he said that during the COVID pandemic. That's a great... Who's been looking at my albums again? Power Age. Yeah, ADC, ACDC. Power Age. I was listening to music earlier. I actually listened to Jack White. Oh, that one there.
So, you have accepted the truth.
Oh, yes, Kevin Sims. Thank you very much. What are you saying? So the EU didn't need the UK more, no. And the car industry didn't come along and save them either. No. Now, I tell you what kind of gets me, though, is in some ways I'm glee. Oh, yeah, the suffering is. Yeah, I was right all along. I said this would happen, but I go to myself and I realise people are suffering, and there's also my family is suffering because of it. And it's not great. We had another issue regarding the NHS. It's not the NHS, it's not the people working within the NHS, it's the government. My daughter is pregnant. All right, we've got another little grandson. Not another grandchild, because this with the second grandson. And she's already had 3 cesarean sections. This is about 4th. Yeah. Well, she went for a checkup at the hospital, actually to have an iron infusion, because her iron level's already low. So she goes to the hospital, and then she asks the question, when's my cesarean booked for? She's about to pop. I mean, she's big. And she's walking like a duck. Yeah. But anyway, she's... I said, we got you down for not a natural, just an observed birth or something, the midwife, and yeah, like a home birth type thing. I don't know what exact words were. When she's supposed to be having a cesarean section, she can't have another cesarean. She can't have a normal birth, not now. She'll pop, literally. That'll be like Alien, flying. Yeah, be like that. But horrible thought. So it's we're talking. Yeah, it's due in like 2 weeks. And they hadn't even booked in. They didn't even realise that it was going to be a cesarean section. That's a cock up. That's a serious cock up, because not be funny. she'd end up having to go in as an emergency. That's not how it's, it's not safe. Now, my dear wife went in an emergency twice. One with my boy Stefan, and once with our oldest daughter. And that was the same section. That was an emergency. It was placenta preview. So basically, the placenta had dropped over the hole, and the baby can't get out. It's his thing in the way. So it was the first time it happened. My dear wife, she nearly died. She's bleeding out. So she had 9 pints of blood. So it wasn't very good. Stefan, it was sort of they said that would be fine. You won't have another one. Another placenta preview. Luckily, we caught it in time. The doctor said, "We'll see how it goes." I said, "No, this she's bleeding. this. I can read. This is normal." And anyway, she was not a little bit blood. I mean, quite a lot. Not just a few clots, but just it was quite. So anyway, they took her in, and then they gave us a cesarean section with the following day. So I kept an eye on her overnight, what have you. Then and then Stefan was born. Our youngest son. So because we've got 6 kids. Blimey. Why? Oh dear. Oh, number 3, hello there. Starmer, Labour should abandon the marginal voters in the red wall. I don't think they need to abandon them. I don't think they're going to go anywhere. I think they will actually filter back to the Labour. They are so dismayed with everything's been going on regarding, well, this Tory party. If they don't go back to Labour, they'll go to the likes of, that'd be Reform. Because you watch a lot of the campaign, apart from the nut jobs they got in that Reform, in their conference they had. If you listen to like Alex Phillips, oh, what a nutter she is. When you listen to, oh my God, Anne Whittaker, oh my God, what a nutter she is. But when you listen to like Richard Tice, the words come out of his mouth is completely out of bollocks. But he's so calm and seems level-headed and stuff like that. And he appeals to those crackpots who still seem to... Well, they're holding on to Brexit. Oh, we just need to do Brexit properly. That's what Anne Whittaker said. Just got to do Brexit properly. You just got to do Brexit properly. Or something like that. Brexit properly. And the fact of the matter is, there ain't no getting Brexit done properly because what they want would be even worse than what we got. What was it Anne Whittaker saying? She goes on, Theresa May, she gave us a bad deal. Boris Johnson gave us a slightly worse deal. And Richie Sunak gives a slightly worse deal. Again, but still terrible, she goes, blah, 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 regarding the Windsor Framework. Or was the Northern Ireland Protocol. And they just wanted to literally say, flick the switch, that's it. Bye-bye. They want to set themselves completely adrift, as though it's like, blank slate, let's start again. How many people are going to suffer while we're trying to find our feet? We'll be treading water, not just for 1 year, 2 years, for decades. You don't recover by chucking away that kind of bulk of money for our gross domestic product and expect to be able to, make good in a good period of time. It just isn't going to happen. Because by making yourself weaker, all of a sudden you're not a very desirable prospect, are you? Who's going to deal with you? Or if they do want to deal with you, they are going to take you to the cleaners. Just like we have been regarding the Aussie deal and New Zealand deal and all the flippin' deals and the CPTPP thing. The Trans-Pacific Partnership. Even the United States won't join it. What does that tell you? That's not a very good idea. Kemi Badenoch going on about the CPTPP, saying it's a great thing. It's like how the EU was when we first joined it, blah, blah, blah. Absolute rubbish. We've given away so much of our... Just like he said. So 1066, giving it away. I can't hear it because I go through the microphone. But it's 1066 and all that. He goes, we lost more sovereignty because Brexit. I thought he was brilliant. Port markets, okay.
In December, I'll be in Beijing, opening up new port
I like
markets.
to oblige. Just water and lemon. Port markets. And it's also a disgrace. Kemi looks like she is constantly mad about something. She's also, well, she doesn't believe in racism and stuff like that. She doesn't think it's actually a thing at all. Work that one out. That's how you climb up that greasy pole, you see, amongst a whole load of gammons. That's basically what they're doing. Her and flippin' Pretty Patel and flippin' Sue Ellen Braverman. Oh, I'm so angry. Pork medallions are guarding the loins. Oh, nice. Problem is, our pork, we're shipping it over into the EU, whether it be into Ireland or the Netherlands, what have you. Get them to pack it. Oh, our beef. So we're doing all the flipping red tape to get it over there. Get it all packaged and do all the red tape to get it back again. Doesn't make any flipping sense. It's still going on. We just don't have the vets. We don't have the means to do it. No. And half the places that do pack this stuff, they keep getting investigated for dropping meat on the floor and put it back in the packets or relabeling the flipping packets with older dates. With newer dates, sorry. Older dates, swapping them over. I did a video about it a while ago, actually. Was it early this year? I think it might have been. Oh! That is... Oh, God, there we go again. So Larry the cat, he wants another one. There you go.
That is a disgrace.
Kipper.
Well, yeah, Kemi is just mad because there are other black people who might one day get the same opportunities she had, and she can't be having that. Pull up the old drawbridge. All them lovely taxes. Look what it did to us when she was in. Huh? Liz Truss. She was a Prime Minister for about 46 days. The damage they'd done. Crikey, it's amazing, isn't it? Value added each time. Time as in herbs. Oh, there. Anyway, where was I? Checking up. I'll see the logic dictates. Yes. That's the thing is, Andy Haldane was saying, I watched the thing right through. It's about 12 minutes long. I'm actually editing it at the moment. If you, I'll just briefly show you what I can, or have I actually shut it down? I might have actually shut it down already. No, I haven't. Now I've started editing it over here. So that over there, you see that's my timeline over there. And that's, oh no, that's not the Andy Haldane one. No. That's a different one. That's the one I just showed you. Edit. Project settings, manager. Come on. I need a new computer. That's there we go. So it's this geezer here. That's Andy Haldane. You can't see. Oh, another one camera again. Andy Haldane is over that. Oh, you can't see. It's tiny. It's tiny. What am I thinking? Anyway, I'm doing that. I'll be uploading that in the morning. Hopefully I can get that edited tonight. Late night again. Editing takes absolutely ages. I quite like doing the match. I quite enjoy doing that. It's just like I actually enjoy doing this as well, to be fair. It can be quite good fun. But also, there we go. Right. 37 billion. Oh, what we're not talking about 37 billion. Are you talking about the track and trace? I wonder how much this app has cost, to do the your alert, to alert you if there's a bit of rain. I think it's because they were worried that it was going to be a war and they've got rid of all the air raid sirens. That's what I think. Why the hell do you need an app to tell you if it's flooding? Social media sort that out for you. And there's a tsunami or something like that, If it's Vladimir Putin's Poseidon torpedo, who's just like a nuclear tidal wave, a nuclear tsunami. ChatGPT edit me a video. I don't know if they do. Do they do that yet? I don't know if they can do that yet. But this is stuff. I'll tell you what. Everyone's worrying about. You get all the Brexiters, don't you, and all the gammons, and they go on about. There's too many people. Oh, we get pint pot. I think we're going to population implosion, and they're all worried. And at the moment, we're all worrying. At the moment, because we haven't got enough people to do the jobs. I think with all this AI, I don't think we're going to need many people, to be honest. It might be a blessing in disguise, I don't know. Yeah. It's exactly that, Allshorts. Oh. But, Yeah, but ChatGPT, they got the art one, what have you, and there's loads that popped up with all sorts of things now. The thing that worries me a little bit, because it's not just about whether or not it can write you an article or draw you a picture and stuff like that. It can think, it can do programming, and it's evolving, it's learning all the time. Now, the only problem with one thing I can say, if for instance, people like me say, oh, there's no point me writing anything anymore, I'm just going to use ChatGPT and fill the internet up, blogs and stuff, written with ChatGPT. Yeah, it's done everything for me, you see. But where has it actually got its training from? It's got that from the internet, from data sets online. Data sets from people like me who write blogs and what have you and put them online, and they get that data and they, collate it and whatever and check it's for real or whatever. And then they can, from that, they can create their articles or, or their write whatever they want to write. It could be a product description or something. And if people who create or make stuff, put online, whether writing, what have you, or videos even, or pictures and stuff like that, if you stop doing it, it's going to become this kind of insular trap. It's never going to evolve out of it because there's no input. It's only got its own input unless it becomes sentient. And some people, some so-called experts are saying that there's signs that it's becoming sentient. I don't believe that myself because it's all data, isn't it? If I was a godly person, I'd say, oh, it hasn't got a soul. Who controls the AI? Well, we do, really, don't we? Because obviously it gets the data from somewhere, which then puts up a load of copyright issues, There's actually law cases there's court cases going through the courts at the moment regarding art, have they say have been plagiarised. Now, something that happened to me actually the other day, I had a t-shirt design that I had on Redbubble, and the crazy thing about it is it's actually a drawing that I drew using my pen pad and stuff like that, and uploaded onto Redbubble for a t-shirt. Alright, I drew it myself. Okay, and then I got somebody contact me through the contact messaging system, telling me, well, I'm sorry, it looks like you've been, it's almost identical, very similar to our piece of art. Well, I hadn't copied it, I just drew it. So, and so it's very easy to find yourself in front of in the court, really, over that. They said just delete it and it'll be fine. So I did, even though I knew it was mine. I just don't want the aggro. I've got too much to do. I can't be worrying about that as well. So I thought I'd just delete it. I haven't sold any t-shirts to put on, so bugger it. It's a bit annoying though, because it's one of the ones that got into the algorithm. But never mind. But we're going to be seeing a lot of legal cases regarding this ChatGPT because it's dangerous, and if it starts. Not thinking, but it's not going to become sentient. I can't imagine that. Maybe it will. I don't know. Nah. But it's not just going to be the written stuff. It's not going to be just the drawn stuff. It's the fact that it can start organising stuff as well. Oh, what is the most practical way of doing this? Can we streamline that? Because like Andy Haldane was saying from the back, well, he was in the Bank of England. He was saying that we need more productivity. We either need more people, or we need the people that we've got to do more work. Yeah, we need to be more efficient. That could be in the form of technology, or could be in the form of, a whip. Crack the old whip. That's what old Jake Rees-Mogg would like. Doff kept Warlock and all that. He'd love all that. And so yeah, but I can imagine AI being used for that. And then you've got AI could be used, let's say, argument's sake, for farming, for instance. Or you've got farming being used with GPSs and what have you. You've had that all linked with AI regarding the most efficient way to plough a field, for instance. So it's going to become a part of everybody's lives, in the sense in every industry that you work in. It's going to make us more and more redundant over a period of time. And I think it's going to have a cycle. It's going to speed up. It's going to get faster and faster and faster. And eventually, we won't be required. UBI! That's what we'll have. UBI. Yeah, hello, JC. Mark's a big fan. Cheers, buddy. Have you been listening to the full-scale attack by the British state and media on the SNP? I have, actually. I haven't commented on it yet.
You have accepted the truth.
I haven't commented on it yet. No, not yet. At the moment, it feels like a witch hunt, personally. Claiming that he's been questioned under caution is the same as arrest for a crime. I did mention that the other day because Sturgeon's husband, who was arrested, as you know, and investigated, and they had the camper towed away and stuff like that, and he was released without charge. Why didn't they charge him if either they haven't got enough evidence on him, or he had, I don't know, a good enough defence? Cheers, P. Dollars. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, so I've said this before. I want to do more video. I'd like to do videos on Scotland, but people don't watch my videos on Scotland, unfortunately, and it's really annoying. Maybe I'll do it for, I think. Just banned him for 5 minutes. Let's see if he'll behave. JP does. Cheers, buddy. Cheers, Mad Monk. Yeah. Oh, dear. He's been naughty, is he? I didn't see what he's doing. What was he doing? Oh, well. Questionable absurdity. If the machines do most of the work, there comes a point where people are just a resource. Hungry pests of the machine and the planet. When they become sentient. Sounds like Matrix. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? There's another. I can't remember. But it's a European film, and I can't remember what it's called. It's in English as well. Maybe somebody here has seen it. It is bizarre. And it starts off with these two robot geezers. They look absolutely identical, but they're walking their dogs. But they're... Hey, cheers, gingers. But they're walking their dogs, but the dogs aren't dogs. These robots are walking dogs. They happen to be human beings with collars on and stuff like that. And they make them bark and sniff each other's butts and stuff like that. It's so bizarre. But the whole pretense is that these robots, it's like they look after the humans. So these particular humans were like, they're like the robots' pets. But then there's all these others, they're basically in their homes and stuff, living their lives and what have you, as would do sort of normally. But the guardians or the police are basically all these robots. It's bizarre. It's a bizarre film. It's a European film. I can't remember. It might be Dutch or something like that. It's funny as fuck. It's hilarious. We did. The conservator, JC Vasgood, he was banned from Max's server. Oh, okay. So there's obviously good reason for that, I imagine. When the spreadsheet was invented, it didn't kill... When the spreadsheet was invented, it didn't kill accountancy. No, because accountancy grew with it. The problem is we haven't got the growth. There's no growth in the UK, is there? Zero. It's quite scary. What we've got high food inflation at around 19%. You've got inflation still bordering on double digits, and then you've got no growth. You've got the worst of everything. Recovering from that is not going to happen overnight, is it? They are saying that within about a month, Andy Haldane, you say probably in about a month's time, we're going to be seeing some recovery on the inflation, and it will rapidly come down. But it doesn't mean to say food inflation will come down with it. We need the food inflation needs to be below everything. It needs to be should be on par really with inflation. It makes sort of logical sense because then it just grows together. Costs and what have you. And hopefully wages would grow with it, but they're not because we had austerity. And that's why the NHS doctors and what have you are striking. Don't blame them at all. Been treated like slaves, they have. All of them have. And the idea, they get paid enough and what have you. Well, actually, no, they don't. They're getting paid less than they were, originally. Humans are just a stage in evolution. Oh my God, this is getting stage in evolution. Interesting. Maybe that's the case. And US inflation is now currently at 5%. It was about 6-7% in France. So if you think of the UK is about, was it just under 11, around 11%, 11% at the moment? I think it's 10.1. Is it 10.1 or 10.4? Something like that anyway. It's too high anyway. And they're going to be increasing the interest rate again to try and help, curb it a little bit. It's taken quite a while for the interest rates to kick in and do anything, but there's they're going to 4.5% very shortly, and probably up about 5% by autumn. Well, it's quite high, isn't it? I say it's high. I can remember it a lot higher than that. I'm sure you do as well. But we got the fastest growth in the EU. Who told you that, though? The tripe. What a load of...
What a load of bollocks!
That it is. Well, that's what the Tories tell us, isn't it? Oh, dear. Anyway, 10.1% in the UK. Cheers, Galaxy Fair. Thank you. As in inflation. And to be fair to Richie Sunak, he was right. If you don't get in control of inflation, the whole thing goes apart. Everything becomes more expensive for everybody. And not just the people who buy the stuff off the shelves. It's those who make the stuff. So the inflation is on everything. And that just pushes it even above and beyond inflation. And it's like other things, isn't it? It's like certain stuff, there's no VAT paid on yet. Like, for instance, I know, arguments say, if you're a barista and you buy in your, I don't know, I think did I hear this somewhere? I think I might have heard this on Question Time, actually. If you're a barista and you bought in your coffee beans at, say, 10 quid a kilo or whatever it might be, so, 10 quid a kilo, and you've had to pay, VAT, you don't pay any VAT on it because it comes under food and stuff like that. But when you sell that on, as in you made your coffee, you've then got to charge VAT on it as a sold product, but you can't claim the VAT back on the stuff that you've actually made it with, whether it be the milk or whether it be the, So VAT on water yet? So, that wasn't... there was something else I want to talk about. There was... I'm covering a lot of stuff here, but not stuff I was supposed to be talking about. But anyway, there we go. Italy is doing quite well out of Brexit, apparently. Yeah. Grazie, there you go. Thank you, London. So Milan in Italy is thank you for that's beautiful Brexit. Yeah. Yeah. They're doing well. Like a lot of the European countries, whether it be, banking, for instance, or car manufacturing and other stuff, doing quite well. Why is that? For argument's sake, why is the inflation in France considerably lower than the UK? Because we're doing okay, apart from obviously what's going on with Garden. Setting light to Macron's favourite restaurant and all that, for God's sake. Well, I was speaking to my doctor, because I had to go and see the doctor the other day, because I've got a problem with my kidneys at the moment. And I was speaking to my doctor, and we're talking about Macron. Expecting, because I was playing a bit neutral with it, just in case. And I said to her, and it's just, Emmanuel Macron's got a few problems at the moment, hasn't he? And says, I think it's a mistake. I understand why he's doing it, but I think it's a mistake. Because if you don't get the people on board, I say, you're hiding to nothing. Because no one's going to think, oh, that's a great idea. That's, let's work for another 2 years. Or, no one's going to agree to that. Or to say, oh, I like that idea. Unless you're already retired. Well... when I was speaking to her, I was not taken back actually, because we live in an area that is very Marine Le Pen. Yeah, it's very rural, and there's a lot of the farmers and what have you. They're very bit right wing, and yeah, just a bit. She says, I said to when I got the gist of what she said, what I said to her. So I think a lot of people forget what the things that Macron has, in his government, in the Marsh, has managed to set up regarding help for people who find things difficult, whether it be for the pandemic or whatever. There's a lot that has been done, got rid of the habitation and what have you. So regarding taxation on your house, that's gone. Not like you got your council tax. We have no council tax. We just have our land tax, which isn't a lot of money. No. Basically, my taxes now is around about 200. With the amount of land that I've got 2 hectares. Oh, well, 2 hectares, but 2 hectares of land here. It's all terrible land, isn't worth anything. And although again, the French would say otherwise because they'll fight over their boundaries. I'll tell you. But and the taxes there are about 200, 220 euros. It's really, it's cheap to live here, but you still got to earn something, haven't you? But anyway, I was speaking to her about this, and I was saying this. They forget about all the good things the positive changes that have been made, and cost savings and stuff like that regarding trying to bring systems. A lot of systems and stuff have been brought online for a start. Because France is notorious for its paperwork. They love it, absolutely love it. This is horrendous. But Emmanuel Macron's managed to bring systems together, and it works better. It does work. It's not like apps and stuff you got in the UK that just fall flat on their face, like the track and trace and what have you. Test, track and trace. It costs 37 odd billion. It's just madness, absolute madness. Where's that money gone? So and she says to me, "Well, you give them this much," she says, "and they want to take your hand." En français. But yeah, it's obvious, really, isn't it? And we've got an ageing population. But my argument with that is that it's not something that happened overnight. It's been happening for a very long period of time. Why haven't we prepared for it? So we could have invested in other areas, but no, we've had, in the UK especially, we've had consecutive governments that now seem to think you want to work until you're 70. I think there won't be no retirement. You'll be dead before you retire. There'll be no need for you anyway. The AI is going to take over. So it wasn't that long ago when Milan was sort of a bit cast aside as a grey, uninspiring industrial city with the only sprinkle of colour coming from the fashion sector. Like me, I'm a bit of a fashion guru, me. Can you tell? But the northern Italian powerhouse says no. Well, it has a newfound energy. Got their mojo back. And it's driven by Brexit. They say partly driven by Brexit. Let's say it's all Brexit. Yeah. Well, as a consequence of the UK's withdrawal from the EU, have kicked in a significant number of bankers, fund managers, and other financial services workers. Well, they shifted from London. Well, apparently they were saying they weren't going to happen, but it did. To Milan in this case. An option that would have never been considered a decade ago. Now, Milan never used to be a place of action, said Sylvia Pace, a fund manager at S14 Capital, an asset management firm who moved to the city last summer after 20 years in London. For years, the trend here among financial companies was to close. Then came Brexit. I just love your Brexit, they go. Obviously not in English. Well, that's barely English, but you know what I mean. So, at the beginning, the people didn't fully understand the consequences. But then it really started to hit. I can't think of that guy now. Oh, that guy laughs. I think he's Italian, isn't he? Yeah, laughing geezer. I can't remember his name now. It's got this compelling laugh. Toxic. Anyway, at the beginning, people didn't fully understand the consequences, but then it really started to hit. And it became clear that things were getting more complicated, forcing more companies to, I'd say evacuate, but evaluate the prospect of moving. Italian banks, including Unicredit and a media banker, led the way in the relocation of staff from London to Milan, and international companies such as Citigroup and their partners followed suit. Goldman Sachs completed the transfer of some of its Euro swaps trading desk to Milan at the beginning of this year. The Italians returning home after carving out the state of their careers overseas make up the majority of those making the shift from London, but joining them are fellow continental Europeans, Britons and other nationalities. Now, while the pace of relocation picked up after Brexit deal was reached in late 2020, the COVID pandemic contributed to an acceleration in the trend over the last couple of years. And the most tantalising lure, however, has been a very generous tax incentive that permits new residents in Italy. Ooh, do you fancy it? if they meet certain conditions, to skip paying tax on as much as 70% of their salaries. The policy, introduced by Matteo Renzi's government in 2015, was originally designed to reverse the brain drain. You know what got going on in the UK? What little brains we have, they've been bled. Well, it was originally designed to reverse the brain drain and entice Italians home. But in 2019, it was expanded to include foreigners. Ooh, there's pesky foreigners moving to Italy. Well, there's... I wonder if I'm going to move in next to Max for a spare. Maybe. Well, all came together. Brexit. The realisation that COVID and that you want a better quality of life. I have to admit, although I'm permanently broke, I have to admit the quality of life here is absolutely fantastic. And now I'm in France. We've got rolling hills, got cows that stare at you. And they follow you. So as you walk past them, they come closer, like you're the cow whisperer or something. My little granddaughter, Sophia, she came in the other day, and she was almost in tears. They were staring at me. Still, whereabouts were they? They're near your shed. No, David Cameron isn't in it. Don't worry. Oh, there. So, I said, I love London. But Milan gives me the sense that I can do my job and have a bit of their dolce vita. The city's appeal as a destination, be it to visit or live in, started to flourish after it hosted the World Expo in 2015. In the years before the event, the city's leaders focused on its renaissance and dilapidated areas were transformed into vibrant, well-groomed residential and business districts. Not like Grimsby. While the ancient dock of Darsena and canalways of Navigli, oh my God, Reagan, can you help me out? Were revived and becoming trendy nightlife spots. Historical attractions such as the majestic Duomo and the spruced up and infrastructure, with a big focus on the development of cycling paths. Oh, they love that in London, and they love you, Les. Well, Milan's traditional cultural highlights, including La Scala Opera House, alongside an eclectic calendar of events. An ever-expanding variety of cuisine have also helped to enhance the city's appeal. Oh. Well, Gabrielle Foe, a portfolio manager, moved to Milan from London in 2021. She says, London is amazing. There's toxic fumes everywhere. Well, super international, she says. Super stimulating. Oh, that's Soho. But it's really hard. That's Soho as well, especially with family. He said. Oh, he. So, he. Sorry. So Milan might be a tad less international and exciting, but it's getting better in this respect. Plus, it's small, and you can drive around easily, and there are good public schools. And you don't feel like you're going to get mugged and beaten over the head by a piece of 2x4. And you're very close to the lakes, mountains, and sea. Lovely. And the sea's not full of poo. No. Just check the chat. Did I ever do that? Probably. Maybe I did. Why would that move? I can't grab it. Why would that move? That's strange. Okay, grab that. That don't make any sense. I can't move my chat. Anyway, that'll do. I'll stay where it is. I'll have to. So it's got... Oh, no, it's frozen. My chat's frozen. Okay, so let's have a look at that. My chat has... I'm going to get on here instead then. It's going to be like that. Pop out the chat. Oh, Northern Italy is good. The same, not so much. I went to Italy 3 times in 2 years. I went once with the missus in the camper, and 2 other times on the motorbike. Yeah. Did some of the passes between Italy and Switzerland. And also went to Imola as well on the motorbike. Now, I love all the roads we get there. But, oh, God, the toll roads in France, it's sort of like, you're travelling a hell of a rate of knots, but crikey, it's just, yeah. Toll roads are boring. They are just boring. I tell you what aren't boring is the so-called smart motorways in the United Kingdom. Oh, there's so many crashes. So many people don't see the signs that says, a big cross on it. Say, don't go down here. No, because something's broken down. Stupid idea, getting rid of the flipping hard shoulder. It's madness. Well, I'll try and recover my chat. Oh, so that goes there. What if I minimise it and bring it back up again? Will that help? No, that didn't help. What if I close it? And then bring it out again? Maybe it had a glitch. Aha, we're back again. That's all I had to do. The chat is okay here. Yeah, that was just mine had frozen. I couldn't move it about. I could see it on there. I could see it scrolling up over there and what have you. And yeah, you're running away with me. So Liege de Bastogne Liege is ready to watch. Oh, okay. I don't know. Hail the lamp. What? What have I been missing? I've been missing something there. As long as Ball Hat Man is out there, your reading is fine. As long as Bowl Hat Man, I'm really confused. What about the Bowl Hat Man? What have I missed? What have I missed? Also has bright yellow packaging to shame the poor. Oh, there you go. Scroll up. Sorry, I should have mentioned it. I was shopping at Marks and Spencer's. They're struggling though. Again. They used to pretty much everything in Marks and Spencer's used to be made in the United Kingdom, and that was obviously important most of it because they kind of had to. Tax. Oh, £7 a kilo for mild cheddar at Farm Foods last week, and it was for cheddar in the UK, cheese in the UK, food in the UK. It was cheap. Here in France, the cheapest cheese we can get would be, well, the grated cheese actually, like Emmental, and it's about €7 you can get per kilo. It's about cheapest you can get on the kilo. Most of the time it's about €8 a kilo. But anything decent, like if you're saying cheddar, for instance, if maybe you went for Cantal or Comte or something like that. Cantal's kind of it's not the same, but it's hard, sort of strong cheese. And then if you get the Vue, it's very, very strong. It's very nice. But you'd be looking at around €14-15 a kilo for the strong Cantal. For the Jaune, the young Cantal, you'll be looking around €9 to €10 a kilo. So I suppose that's on par with mild cheddar. I suppose at £7 a kilo with exchange rate and what have you. Still a bit dearer. Food in France isn't cheap. It isn't cheap. There's a massive differences in price. But what I would say is that when you have when it's in season, it comes down considerably. It used to be like that in the UK, though. Not so much now. Unless you're talking about pumpkins, because no one wants to eat them. I don't understand why, because, even pumpkin pie is nice. That's pumpkin soup. And even pumpkins, though, you can't you can't store it very easily. You have to, if you're doing canning, because it rots really quickly, you get botulism. Passport delays could be worse than last year, yes, due to a surge of 1.3 million more applications, and also strikes! So there's more applications, yeah, because a lot of people thought, I don't need it, man, we're all in lockdown, so, passports are all out, we need a new passport. So they get inundated with them all at the same time, and there's an influx of people wanting to go booking holidays abroad now, for obvious reasons. They're getting itchy feet. Everyone's frightened of swimming in poop. And can you blame them? I recently bought a pound of 7-year-old cheddar for $25. What is that cheese you have in the United States? It looks like that square cheddar stuff that you put in burgers. I think more like a fondant. I recently bought a pound of cheese. Another thing, too much sitting down and typing. My biggest problem is sitting down. I get backache, and I don't at the moment because I've got a new chair. I got the. Oh, you might know the story behind this chair with the Union Jack on. I did not buy it because it's got a Union Jack on. Just to give you the wrong idea. Wrong idea. Because if I was gonna buy one and I'd have the EU flag on it. You see, but no, the chair was cheap, and it's a chair that I was actually been wanting for absolutely ages. Because there's about €1,300 to buy this chair. Crazy, but it's really. I haven't had backache since, apart from my kidneys, but that's a different reason. But And they're about 13 years, and I paid €150, €160 for it. Second hand, obviously. But I had to have a flipping Union Jack on it. Hillman Miller, the chairs. Anyway, Monterey Jack. Oh, Monterey Jack. Yeah, that's the American cheese, isn't it? Plastic cheese. Ginger, I have some nice cheddar here. I haven't had cheddar for years. I've plenty of goat's cheese, plenty obviously Cantal, Comte, Gouda. That's Dutch actually. Gouda is really. But if you get proper Gouda here in France, you get that. I'd say Gouda here in France. It's not like the stuff you get in Holland. Yeah, in the Netherlands. Hi everyone, says a suspect. Hello there. I hope you're well. You have revealed your true intentions, Allshorts. Shame. What? What? Not British, was it? Not British then. Oh, is it? What my name is Sion Onabud. I had to order my cheese from Wisconsin. Blimey. You got to order your cheese from Wisconsin. You got a local cheesy person? No? You got to make your own cottage cheese. All you need is some milk. That's gone sour. Some sour milk. You get somebody's old tights. Or a bit of muslin cloth or something like that, and you put it in your milk. You put all the little clods and stuff, from the sour milk, and all the bits. And you put it sort of a bit gooey and horrible, and you tie it under a tap, and it goes drip, 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 drip through it, and it just drains all the sourness because obviously the sour milk, and eventually you end up with cottage cheese. Which is a cottage cheese anyway. It's disgusting, but there you go. Please like and subscribe. Oh, please, please, please. And you want to watch the channel, you can do that obviously on the usual things like Patreon and Bars Coffee and stuff like that. But I've also set up a GoFundMe for the channel. I ain't finished doing I put a blurb in there, but I ain't finished doing it yet. But it is working because a couple of people have already donated, which is obviously very much appreciated. It really is. And that's good. Cuban cheese. Oh, that is popular here in France, isn't it? Cuban cheese. I love Cuban cheese. Made of real Cubans. Yeah. No, it's just got Cuban seeds in it. I found cheese that. I haven't found cheese that old here. There's plenty of old cheese here. Yeah. I'll tell you something, you got a bit of old cheese in the UK as well, haven't you? Yeah, and Widdicombe. She's a bit of old cheese. She's like a walking yeast infection, that one. Oh, God. What a horrible thought. Why did I say that? Food and meds selling Viagra and insulin under the table to American retirees. Glad you are joking. Remember, everyone recalls the Queen's coronation and bought their first TV to watch it. Blimey. Was it like a glass ball in a wooden box with big valves? I can remember I was growing up as a kid, and the TV's always going wrong. And the TV repairman had an old ITT TV, and it's touch sensitive buttons. There's like two bits of metal, and you touch, change channel. And at the time, you could have 5 channels on that TV. 5. There's only 3 that worked because there was only 3 channels at the time, if I remember rightly. Yeah, but anyway, the TV repairman coming on, I was fascinated by it. Absolutely fascinated. Watching him messing about with the old valves and stuff, glowing in the back, and he sort of unscrews the back panel, which is like a bit of pressed hardboard with those holes in it, and there he was, just he got his oscilloscope out. Yeah, the thing with a little line on it. And, I was... proper TV repairman. Hello, Joel Lefty Rodriguez. I'm afraid the stream has veered off topic. Yes, that has. I do apologise. I will actually get back on topic because that's a bad point and I won't get to... See, the other thing is Ireland. Ireland is doing pretty well out of Brexit as well. They've got a surplus. Yeah. Oh dear. Oh dear. How terrible is that? Because they're in the EU, in the EU. The pesky EU. Unelected bureaucrats, they say. Well, Let's make that a bit bigger so you can see it. That's format. Good. Let's scroll up. Do you want me to see all that? I've got my free article. There you go. Move that up. There you go. Well, they've got a surplus of 6.2 billion is predicted for next year. So they've got more money to spend. Not like us, like in the UK. Well, I'm in France, but in the UK. When, Jeremy Hunt says, we got more room in our budget. No, we haven't. We've got more room to borrow. That's what he means. Anyway, so got 16.2 billion is predicted for next year, according to the government's latest economic forecasts and projections for the public finances. And figures underline the extent to which the government will have significant cash to spend in the budget. And next year, as it prepares for a general election expected in the second half of next year, 2025. Now, the Irish government. Now, this is. Can you see that? Okay, on there, just about. As you can see there. Oh, look at that. Oh, surplus. Yeah, that was before, and that's now. So they've got money to spend. So, they're having problems back then, so they'd be borrowing more money, effectively. They'd have to borrow more money to make ends meet. And that's funny. What's this date here, then? I wonder what date that is. Oh, it's Brexit. Loads and loads of businesses moved over to Ireland. Not just that. We bypassed the land bridge because of Brexit. Direct routes from Irish ports to French ports, no longer travelling over the UK. And trade has increased as a result. So the document forecasts an exchequer surplus of 12.9 billion for next year. However, when other factors, including a large surplus in the social insurance fund, are included in the calculations of the general government balance, the EU figure used by the figure used by the EU is expected to be around 16 billion. And now we just had Joe Biden visiting, didn't we? Ireland, but sort of brushed past Richie Sunak on the way down. And as a result from that, we're likely to see more investment, not just a direct result, but they've got the Windsor framework as well. There's more likely to be investment in Ireland as well. Although Stormont isn't sitting in Northern Ireland, which is a bit of a problem still. There's a possibility, though, they're saying by sometime this year that they may actually form or buddy up in Stormont again, hopefully. So, the figures may be adjusted later on in the year. So the surplus is driven by continuously strong corporation tax receipts. They've also been investing a lot to encourage people to set up business there. It's preferential tax rates and stuff like that. What do you think? The likes of Michael Leary, might have him, Ryanair. It just makes sense. So likely to be about 10 billion, including transfers to the government's rainy day fund and stability programme update. A key economic document required under EU rules was published by the Minister for Finance, Michael McGrath, and the Minister for Public Expenditure, Paschal O'Donoghue, on Tuesday. And last year, between recurring spending commitments and one-off giveaways, the government was able to deliver a budget day package of more than 11 billion. So they've got more money to spend on services and stuff, investments. Both Mr. McGrath and Mr. Donoghue were at pains to play down talk of big budget giveaways at the announcement of the results yesterday. They warned in particular of an unreliable nature of much of the corporation tax receipts and the danger of building recurring spending commitments. To testify the point, they can spend what they've got now, but that doesn't mean to say they're going to have the same amount of money next year. So they might have 16 billion or 11 billion, whatever it might be now, but later on it might not be that. It might be less, or it might be more. I wouldn't be surprised there's going to be more. If we start getting investment from the United States, they're going to do pretty well out of that. So I find that quite hopeful for Ireland. We just want unification now, don't we? Reunification. That's what we need. So from agreement in principle, a few years I reckon. The member states have to approve, I believe. Getting to that stage is at least 5 years. Talk about rejoining, I take it. There's definitely a trend that people are seeing the error of their ways. Anyone who's a little bit more sensible got took in by all the lies and what have you, but... So, where are we there? Let's bring it back up there. This chat has been problematic. Okay, there we are. So what about wine and the plan to compete with Italian Prosecco for at least 5 million bottles to be produced in the UK? In the UK for the UK. Well, it's not Prosecco then, is it really? It's just fizzy wine. Like champagne won't be champagne. Just like that beer. Oh, which one was it now? I can't remember. One of the beers in the EU, probably German, or one of the German beers. I can't remember which one was it. They'd printed champagne on it or something, and there was a big hoo-ha about it. Anyway, they had to crush them all. Richie Snake, that he is. Just a quick question. Does anyone on here think that Mo Farah took drugs? Mo Farah. He's an illegal as well. Did anyone see that documentary? Yeah. Came over in a little boat or something. Something like that, anyway. Don't know. I don't really follow. Mark's the biggest fan says, most likely had paracetamol, cough medicine, and maybe at the odd pint. So, yes. From agreement in principle, a few years I read already. Look in Lidl's or Corfland. If I don't have a Corfland here, I don't think. I haven't seen one. If you have one in your area, or one of those Eastern European food shops. Regarding Wally, very suspicious. Gouda have anything with the Netherlands. Gouda has anything with Netherlands except the name of the cheese, yeah. The Gouda I had from the Netherlands was from our Dutch friend Lisa Nui, and that was amazing cheese. Yeah, really good. Yeah, boy. Underwear. She's a bit sleepy. There you go, girl. Right. Norway have said that they will block the UK joining EFTA. Oh. And that's the only route to joining the single market and the customs union. Who was saying? Michael O'Leary was saying that there's a possibility. In 15 years, we will be rejoining or paying our dues into the EU again. It's going to be inevitable, he says. Michael O'Leary from Ryanair. But in the form of a Norway deal. Well, Norway will kick off on that one, wouldn't they? Wouldn't be very happy about that. A Norway or a Swiss deal. But not be funny, but the Swiss deal is they're always at loggerheads over that. There's always negotiations with the Swiss deal. They're never happy with it, no. Vice versa. Russian talking point alert. What? Only an idiot would believe these top athletes are clean. Oh, who knows? I don't know. I don't really follow it. The best cheese in the world is Baby Bell's. Paper only 6 years old. Okay. Not for me. Little waxy bit. Edam, basically, isn't it? Mo Farah is full of nanobots. That's why he can run so fast. 5 million bottles of Buckfest. Kool-Aid 76 Buckfest. 5 million bottles of that to get drunk each day. Make it more than a fast book. And Brothers B. I need to do my homebrew. Tories don't get tasted. Okay. Should look at the difference between the BBC's reporting of Dominic Raab and Diane Abbott. It's quite a contrast. I won't be surprised. I've reported on this before in the sense that if you did searches on BBC, like for instance, whenever there's been a protest, a peaceful protest, a gathering of people who want to rejoin the European Union, ever since Boris Johnson got in, obviously he's not now, but at the time, there was no reporting in the BBC of any of these protests. They ignored it. Barely made the press. And yet there was like 100,000 people there or something. I mean, huge amount of people. Didn't even get a notice. It's just frustrating. Oh, that was an American bear, was it? Oh. If you didn't try before sheep cheese. If you didn't try before, I have sheep cheese. That was sit and salt brine for some time and marinated in olive oil and spice. Oh, God, sounds nice. Oh. Anyway, where was I? Okay, let's get back on track. I'll get told off again. I found this quite funny, and I can relate to this. This is an article about basically a lady who has some in-laws, happen to live in France. Yeah. And they were a bit shocked, as in the state of play or state of things in the United Kingdom. Yeah. She says, Emma Beddington, it's an opinion piece in The Guardian. She says, I saw the UK through the eyes of my French in-laws and it was deeply embarrassing. Yeah, I get that. I get it. It's quite a funny article, actually. We'll do it in bits. There we go. Our rivers run with poo, and we have hundreds of food banks, and it is virtually impossible to get a doctor's appointment. Yeah, I kind of touched on that earlier. Sometimes it takes an outside perspective to appreciate how bad things actually are. Now, this article made me think about our neighbour. I've got a French neighbour here, Violette, and although she's lovely in some ways, she's anti-vax and all that sort of stuff, and very anti-Macron. And she's trying to make out that the health service here is absolutely diabolical now, blah, 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 blah. Oh, my God, she doesn't know anything. We can get an appointment the same day, in most cases. And it's, if we do have our blood taken in the morning, sometimes we get it in the afternoon, in the post. And it's ours, we get to keep it. And we can look at it, we can go Dr. Google. Oh no, I'm dying. I'm done for. Well, she says that my in-laws, they came to stay recently. Oh, hang on, let's move that over. I've got that. There you go. That's not in. Came to stay recently, prompting a crisis of what some DIY chain has forced me to think of as some kind of house embarrassment. We don't have many guests because I get funny when people use my mugs. And I'd offer a welcome along with the lines of the Peregrine Falcon nest boxes that I watch on webcams. Food-strewn pebbles, dismembered pigeon corpses. Oh, lovely. That sounds gross. Let me just click this button. There you go. There. Pigeon corpses and me hunched and glaring in a corner, covered in viscera. But some visits are welcome. We hardly ever see my in-laws. We're a bit like, we're quite insular here. We don't see hardly anyone over. Just very rural. And we hardly see my in-laws. And since they're fairly elderly and live in France. But I like them. It's a miracle. I hardly like anyone, she says. But it's shaming to suddenly see your home through others' eyes. Before they arrived, we surveyed the squalor we'd got used to. They got comfortable with their own space. Each secretly blaming the other. Oh, sounds like a Tory. Well, the shoe and the beach to Boxing Mountain in the hall. An insanitary trip hazard. A pair of socks left on the radiator since last summer. Mummified. What? Apple? Lemon, mouse, in the fruit bowl, an unconscionable amount of hair everywhere. The sofa smelling of old dog and Anne Widdecombe, and surrounded by crisp packets and coconut water cartons. We've lived here for 2 years and had barely hung a single picture. My husband haphazardly put some on my hooks, already in the walls, and the day we arrived, it looked as if it were created by one of the stupidest species of primate. And nothing has changed since. We're always suggesting we'll tackle it. But I'm tired. So tired. I should probably get my thyroid checked. You should do that because I have to have thyroxine. All the 5 a.m. walking... all the 5 The 5 a.m. walking dog. Put down the dog. No, don't do that. Joke, she says. Who can get a doctor's appointment these days? Like I was saying earlier regarding my daughter and my mother and my in-laws. But pre-guest and house embarrassment won out, and we hung some pictures. Hid the shoes. We vacuumed the sofa, she says. Paper them in time. Dirty bugger. Well, unfortunately, none of that helped. With much worse of a problem. Country embarrassment. Embarrassment of your country. My in-laws missed the first train because the platform was never announced. The second was severely delayed, and then for the whole trip, we hovered protectively, desperate to avoid any risk of injury. So there's potholes. Where's Richie Sunak when you need him? It's not so much the entirely correct junior doctors' strike. Being French, they were used to strikes. They're on a different level. But nothing could prepare them for the 2023 UK A&E experience after 13 years of underfunding by the Tories. They claim it was much harder to see a doctor in France now. But we explained. The fruitless 8 a.m. GP phone race. They looked aghast and said, okay, no, it wasn't that hard, obviously referring to France. Just get back into that in the mode. Just need to give my dog a treat, because he's pestering me. There you are. Yeah. Now go and play. Don't look at me like that. He's giving me the big eye. Well, so everything is negotiable, says number 3, assuming that all parties are willing to compromise. The UK may not be willing. It's not winning at the moment. I suppose everything is negotiable, but it's whether or not we can back out in some of these deals as well. It's not going to happen overnight. Meantime, we'll be struggling. Your own economy is like Titanic, with politicians refusing the obvious, and they shoot themselves in both feet in one-way journey to the bottom. What's up, Ollie? Yes. It's just madness. Absolute madness. I've been watching the Beyond Creepy channel. Weird, even by my standards. Beyond Creepy. I don't know that one. I now realise they've been conned. So, but even the hardened Brexiters are now realising they've been conned. But now they've got a new line. They've now got this line that's been the rhetoric from Reform. You just got to have a proper Brexit. They haven't done Brexit properly, like Anne Widdecombe said, and like Richard Tice has been saying. Like Tice was at Lice. Lice, yeah, that's what I'll do. It'd be unbelievable madness. The idea that we could ever had no deal at all. It's bad enough with a deal. I agree with some ways, I'm afraid, but I just can't see it happening. I just can't see a route in. We haven't got enough consensus to do that yet. We need more suffering. They're getting to a point now they can't really blame the EU anymore. They'll try. Also reforms. The rest of the world, they trade on WTO terms. Yeah, that's it. Say goodbye to your car industry and every other industry. 10% tariff on cars done through WTO. 2 TV actors did with their British parents. Oh, what's that referring to? Without public campaigns, the UK can't change. No, we need public consensus. And we're fully aware that we will also need to convince the EU 27 member states. Some of them are not keen. I could say, would they have a veto on that, though? Would they have a veto? Rejoining, they get a veto, wouldn't they? Number 3, but in rejoining even. We keep saying rejoining. It's not really rejoining. It's just joining. We're not going to get any benefits. We're not going to be in a strong enough position to actually demand anything. Things can change, but that will need time, unfortunately. Yes, it's going to take decades. Lovely. Ah.
But the structural reforms that we're about to deliver include the Brexit Freedoms Bill. The Freedoms Bill is a fantastic piece of legislation, defining constitutional piece of legislation that will remove the dead hand of EU laws from our statute book finally. There are over 2,400 EU laws that will be amended or repealed.
He's the one person, if I met him, I think I'd have to take a swipe. I'm not a violent man. He's just awful. The best EU could offer the UK is a Canada-like a trade deal, but that doesn't include services and movement of people. But we're a service-based country. Now, Andy Haldane, when he was having that interview with Sophie Ridge, he was going on about output. We need to be making stuff. We need to, basic is what he was saying, not just services. But also, what I liked what he said at the end, he was talking about arts. He was saying we need to promoting more, more culture and creative thinking. The whole thing is all linked, whether it be technology or whether it be the arts or whether it be construction. The being able to create, make things. You evolve when you make things. You learn through making, through the whole process. From obviously, pen to paper, through maybe prototypes and through to your finished products, what have you, or whether you're just making stuff out of wood. As a woodworker myself, you're always learning new techniques, new ways of doing stuff. To feel, And there's something lovely about working with wood. It really is. But apparently it's not sustainable, according to Mike Graham of Talk TV. No. And that you can grow concrete as well. That's what he's saying. Oh, Mark's the biggest fan says, Dominic Raab to fight Logan Paul in the next celebrity. Logan Paul. Are you talking about Logan Paul? The Logan Paul who got banned off YouTube for a while because he went to, was it Japan or China or somewhere, into a woods and made a video about a load of people who were committing suicide hanging in the woods. Not his best move. No. So Dominic Raab to fight Logan Paul. What Logan? Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the American guy? The other American guy, the big guy with blonde hair. Is that Logan Paul? It's Logan. Oh, I'm getting lost here. Next celebrity boxing match. The best the EU could offer UK is a Canada type deal. The RC, one of them had to return to the UK to take care of their parents, and they struggles to return here and bring them with them. We're hearing that a lot recently, actually, where families are becoming separated, and also families like people are married to foreigners, pesky foreigners, and they're struggling to get them citizenship. It's just taking absolutely forever. They go on with the family visa and stuff. Have you heard of anyone who's actually managed to get that family visa? No, one lady, she had the police knock on her door and arrest her at about 4 o'clock in the morning as an illegal immigrant. This was some years. This was actually before, during the Brexit campaign, and but she wasn't. They had all the paperwork and stuff. They're going through the process of getting citizenship or something like that, and anyway, they arrested her. And the husband's obviously who's English, so. Kevin Slims. So thanks, Kevin Slims.
So
$2.
You have accepted the truth.
I have. Oh.
Yes, you will be a great asset.
I don't know if it's dead yet. I think Richie Sunak, for all his ills and the fact I think he's a criminal, he's not a fool, and he knows that's going to be an absolute disaster. I know he's a leader and all that, but he's not as mad as the likes of Jacob Rees-Mogg, who just wants to get rid of blame the French and get rid of everything to do with the EU. We don't want EU laws, no. Laws that they wrote, but you go. All help, right? So is it dead now? I think it's just sitting on the shelf at the moment. They'll use that at some point. But the problem is, you see, they had Biden turning up. If that was at the time, and then try and push this flipping bill through, and Biden turning up, and then you got the Windsor framework and what have you. The whole thing, the actual bill itself pretty much devastates the Good Friday Agreement as well. So, yeah, it isn't great. So the EU laws bill isn't dead, it's on the fence. They haven't said they're scrapping it completely, so that'll probably get resurrected again at some point. Hopefully they won't be in power. Hopefully. Oh, dreamy thoughts. Number 3 says, I can't make it socially in Bristol, and I may move to Allshorts if allowed. I know a good coffee shop there. Wow, do it. If you can make it work, number 3, do it. You know, it's a good experience anyway, isn't it? You know, I've learned so much moving here in France, and it just shows you the other side of things, doesn't it? You know, how other people live and what have you, and other people's trials and tribulations, other people's problems, and you know, some people find it hard. Even Brits who have moved over here, you know, not moved back, they were struggling. A lot of it for social reasons. You know, they bought this lovely place in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and there's no one. They struggle with the language, what have you. They get depressed because they can't communicate with anybody. And there's, you know, other Brits moved back to the UK, so they're not doing the same. My mother-in-law did the same thing, pretty much for similar reasons. Because of Brexit, she moved back to the UK and regretted it. So, from what I know, it is dead indeed. Much of the dislike of Rees Mock regarding the Brexit bill. So they haven't actually they haven't actually said it's gone, have they? They haven't actually said no, we're cancelled. That's gone. They've scrapped it. We'll put it in the shredder. They just put it one side, and they'll use that as some sort of how to put it, saber rattling. Yeah, that's what they'll do. Apparently, I should be able to see the aurora from my house. Oh, is she dressed right now? But you're talking about that aurora. But it's raining. Yeah. It's been raining here pretty much all day, off and on. We're safe for all the light pollution from Manchester city centre, so I don't think so. I don't have a lot of light pollution here. No. The nights here are pretty good in all directions. Molly, what are you doing? Oh, he's so needy. I would love to learn Dutch somehow. Oh, the Empire did nothing wrong. Really? Oh, you having a laugh? Well, the bill was never going to go through. It's far too destructive a bill to allow it to go through. There's so many of them laws that Rees-Mogg just wanted to brush one side. That just made the UK kind of work. It's pinning for the fjords. Well, number 3, hard to explain this in English. Also, sorry, but just to explain from a continental law perspective, the veto is an imperative right of a country, and the consensus is negotiated positive or a negative position. Can you veto an EFTA? The Dutch are truly civilised and much wiser than us. And they have more bikes. Quite flat as well. Yeah. I've been to Holland a few times. Just thought of something. Cyril Braverman is our British Lauren Boebert. Oh dear. Well, I'm Romanian. I'm a Romanian carpenter. Come back. Carpenter plumber. It's a suspect. Living in the UK, but after all this mess the UK created for itself, I'm seriously thinking to get out of the UK to Portugal or somewhere in the EU. I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't blame you at all. I just hope that things will start. The problem is there's a lot of people that have views that they agree with what's going on, basically, you know. A lot of that's driven by fear. Just like, it's just like,
So, you have accepted the truth.
It's just like this thing. And that pretty much put Brexit over the line. Oh, super chat, Kevin Slims, cheers, buddy. Yeah, just like Jacob Rees-Mogg Jacob Rees-Mogg, and Nigel Farage's Breaking Point poster. Pushing Brexit over the line. Last minute. They got their Brexit because of this. Or they helped. And now the Brexiters aren't happy because Labour, well, they're playing the same sort of silly buggers. So, yeah, it's the concept that it's, they bought into it, and they got frightened, and now obviously got all this immigration might be going on, which has got very little to do with the EU, because they'll be finding their way to the UK anyway, whether you're in the EU or not. But it's funny, there's more of it now than there was before, and there's no legal routes in anyway, so it'll be the easiest way. So get rid of the so-called gangs. No need to speak Dutch here. I know. Well, in the Netherlands, a lot of people speak English. Like in Belgium as well, isn't it? To be fair, there's a lot of people in France who speak English. I was talking to a farmer today, and I was very surprised. He spoke English. So it's me, going on, struggling with my French and whatever. Don't worry about that. He goes, just speak English. I thought, what? It's embarrassing. I feel alright, idiot. So, so Kevin Slim says, wants to take a vacation to the United Kingdom, but can't handle the sewage in the waters. You can walk the waters. My son took my granddaughter to the beach. Oh God, you didn't go in the water, did you? He looked at me. The thing is, a lot of people in the UK, they're not really taking notice of what's going on. You know, this is pretty much all the water, bar about 10% of the waters in the UK are toxic. Yeah, so 90% of the waters are toxic. That's frightening. Not in the UK, I mean in England. So yeah, I apologise, Scotland. Oh, Smeagol Fartage! Reminds me of Fergal Sharkey. Yeah, he's doing quite well about it. Yeah, I think he should be in charge of Ofwat or something. Yeah. How much shit can you really put in the rivers and seas, but until there's, a major problem? I uploaded a video. It didn't do very well, but it was how the fishermen on the Severn Trent River, and they were cancelling competitions because of the fact the fishermen are fishing. They're catching more sanitary products than they are fish. One thing is obviously the fish are dying off. They're basically being found dead. Because obviously the toxins, not just because of the sewage, because of the toxins from the fields and whatever, the farmers and whatever, water runoff. Not that, well, I suppose some of that's going to be since we've left the EU. The farmers will do what they want now, pretty much, even with the fact there are laws still in place, they're ignoring them. There ain't no one checking up now. They ain't got the manpower. Belgium, I've got Hans Vastenvold. I don't know how to say that. I do apologise. Hans Christiansen or something. Belgium. Yeah, Belgium. Lovely of Belgium. Bruges. Been to Bruges. Anyone who claims refugees should stay in the first safe country has not understood Brexit, since this idea stems from the Dublin Agreement, which we no longer can actually, take part of because of Brexit. So you're right, yeah. Even though they keep going on about, you stay in the first country. No, they don't have to. They just travel across the EU, you know. Don't have to. Oh, no, we're heading to England. I love Fergal Sharkey. He's got a good art. Yeah, it's got... Very good. I'll get my... Yeah, you better. Hey, talk about Fergal Sharkey. Oh, no. I actually listened to his album yesterday. It was on the back there. I want to come to London, says Kevin Slims, the Mad Monk. English is taught in all the schools, says RC. Yep. I have something that actually Andy Haldane was saying again in this interview. He was going on about education, and because Suffrage brought up about Rishi Sunak's mathematics. Each student has got a point, but you can't just say mathematics. Everything, all the core subjects. Well, we need more core subjects. In other words, we should be adding the arts into it as well. We need some culture in the UK, to be honest. Yeah, we only seem to get culture when kids leave school and take art. Then maybe they might learn a bit of culture, but it's in the schools they don't generally. It's quite such a shame, really. Unfortunately, it will do nothing for the regular bloke. It will lay off because all of those foreign companies in the UK are moving to the EU. That they are. Number 3, I'm not sure about. Oh, hang on, what number 3 say? RC English is taught in all the schools, surely. Well, I think it isn't it. Number 3, I'm not sure about that, but English mandatory for school exams. Also, English and American TV programs are subtitled, not dubbed. Aha. And on gaming channels, etc. English is the lingua franca. No. Language, French. Any Brits who want to see clean water, come and visit our national parks here in the United States. They're worth seeing. We kindly ask you who don't poop in our lakes and rivers. Well, you don't know to in the let's say for instance in some of the Spanish districts, you can't poop in the seas. You get €600 fine if you're caught pooping in the sea. How are they going to see you? What, they got underwater cameras or something? I don't know. You're in the sea and you got poop and no one's going to know. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying. It seems like a silly law. English is not an official language. That is the Netherlands government business and legal documents, etc. Okay. Fergal and his cousin Kevin says still over the cat. All right, let's get back to what I was doing. Bloody blah. Okay, not much more of that left. That's good. Oh God, no. Where was I? Country inbound in the midst of us. Done that one. Ah, there we go. Arr. Oh my God, it's 2.5 hours already. Blimey. What am I like? She say, let's have a drink. Again, dry. Yeah, dry. Well, we're talking about the current French retirement reform protests, of course. Well, going a bit crazy, isn't it? It's going through though. Both teachers, they retired well before hitting 60, and were horrified to hear retirement age might reach 68 in the UK, versus a rise to 64 in France. They bemoaned the cost of living in France and political shortism, but that's the problem. There's always political shortism because the political system's 2 terms. And in the UK, what we got? We've got a 2-party system. We need proportional representation. That's what we need. So we can look to the future. Now we can criticise Xi Ping Pong, China, and but they're thinking 100 years ahead. So they were curious, apparently. Oh, hang on. So I missed a bit. They bemoaned the cost of living in France and political shortism, but at least they always had access to salad. Well, we had Liz Truss. Now they were curious about whether our energy bills had risen, since theirs have. Well, not much. But moderately, Macron forced EDF to take the hit by imposing the price cap, limiting increases dramatically. Well, not just that. They imposed the price cap, but then they actually bought the rest of the remaining shares. So it's now state-owned, EDF. Limiting the increase is dramatic. In here, we get nearly 130% rises in gas prices, with Ofcom feebly suggesting 85-year-olds might be spared those prepayment meters. I can't believe I heard that. Only for 85-year-olds. What? It's all part of a wider spiral of country embarrassment. There's so much hair, you can't stuff in a cupboard and hide from visitors. Rivers running with shit. 8 food banks in supposedly a prosperous city where we live. And then you obviously got the food banks in the hospitals as well. That's just absolutely disgraceful. That is a disgrace. Visiting musicians refuse entry, such as the German musicians who, well, they were told to bugger off at the border. So they did. A country seeking to breach its obligations. Oh, hang on. School groups no longer able to visit. Well, why would they be sitting in the coach for like 14 hours, stuck at the border in Dover, going back to Calais? Well, anyway, obligations towards refugees. Also, a country seeking to breach its obligations towards refugees, send them all to Rwanda under international law, and to ignore European Convention on Human Rights. Well, yeah. And you get the likes of Jake Rees-Mogg talking about it as though it's the EU. Now, like the House, it feels like a personal shame, and now we have let it happen. Why aren't we out on the streets like the French, setting like the tyres and stuff? And Richie Sunak's favourite restaurant. Not everything was mortifying. The return train went like clockwork, and they were spellbound by a lovely group of women sitting next to us in Hawaiian gardens. What? Enjoying a full cheese board and prosecco at 8 a.m. They are travelling to see Tina Turner musical, and I translated after eavesdropping. They are celebrating the birthday of the older lady in the paper crown holding the miniature whiskey, and she's 92. And that impressed them. A multi-generational boozy fun, if nothing else. And we're still an inspiration. I hope so. For God's sake. But it is an embarrassment. Everything is just falling apart. It's all going wrong. We've got potholes everywhere, apparently. Potholes. That's what's important about it. Potholes. And we're not actually taking care of what really matters, such as we're filling our seas with poop. And our rivers with poop. We're polluting every blooming thing. And not doing anything about it, ignoring it. I say we, it's the government. And after all, they are the ones ultimately responsible. It's like Richie Sunak being criticised, that he doesn't want to arrest, criminal gangs and, rapists and stuff like that. But the fact of the matter, he's the head of the table. He's ultimately responsible. He's not doing anything about it, so he's making himself responsible for it. So it's tough titty, I say. Call them out for what they are. I just wish they called him out for the other stuff. I don't understand why they don't bring up the fact that Richie Sunak has, he basically siphoned off a load of COVID loan money, didn't he? And other stuff. And then you got the childcare as well. That seems a bit fraudulent. His missus is benefiting from that as well. Got shares in that. And then now you got the childcare reforms regarding the childcare payment for, will be under 4-year-olds, under 5-year-olds, eventually. Eventually, I say. So the whole thing is, the country's falling apart. Anyways, check the chat. Oh! Talk about bedtime for Munchkin, Doctor of Lunacy. Back in the set. Oh, bedtime for Munchkin. I'm almost feeling that myself. I'll probably tell my eyes. I'm getting tired. I'm getting yawny. Number 3, I just googled it. Dutch is the official language. Both Dutch and Sign Language and Frisian are recognised languages. Oh, that's interesting. Just that conservative. Because apparently I'm not allowed to fix myself. What? Fix it myself? Why can't you do it? The council coming to replace her fence. That's a bit silly. Can't stay up all night. I have to be down at me mother's in the morning. The council coming to replace her fence. Because I'm not allowed to fix it myself. Oh. What, a fence? Scrolling down. Have you had a nice St. George's Day? Makes me laugh. You got like about Christians and stuff like that, Did they honestly think Jesus was English? Did they honestly think he spoke English? Oh, dear me. Scroll down. Every Portuguese government site is at least in Portuguese and English. It is common sense. Apparently e-gates as well. Common sense, and we have about 15 million of Portuguese and Portuguese descendants all over the world. And Tom Hanks has won. Is that right? I didn't even know that. My favourite Tom Hanks film has got to be one of his original ones. Like Big or something like that. That's just funny. Then you get all serious-ish. Vote Social Party. Which Social Party? Barley Water? What? Ferguson's Council Kevin. I'm afraid no more than one language benefits. The council house and Walsall Council are oddly possessive about their fence. Oh dear. Well, I think I'm going to have to call it. I am so tired, and I had another thing I wanted to do, and I haven't done it. Oh, what an idiot! Wally's moaning at the gate, at the door. He wants to go for a wee. But it just feels like since Brexit, everything's kind of been bled. You know, you just go to the barber to get yourself bled. Can't remember that? No? Okay. That's what, about purity and all that. And that's what's happened to the UK. It's like death of 1,000 cuts, isn't it? I'm just hoping one day that someone will see the light and do something to counteract the damage that's been done and continuing to be done. So these future generations aren't living in this, madness. Oh, have we had any protests from Extinction Rebellion? Any more people locked up for 3 years for tying themselves to a bridge? Is there any vicars out there who got themselves 5 weeks for sitting in the road in prison? Madness. Reagan. It's all a bit pants, I say. I would say the same, Reagan. Did you hear what I said earlier? I was wondering whether or not to do a live stream, say for instance, an hour before yours, but then continue to stream yours through my channel and then see whether or not we can get you some more subscribers that way. Maybe. That's just an idea. Like we did before, when you were off and I was live streaming with Lee Corn. I just thought it might be an idea. If not, it's not a worry. Announcements in The Hague. Public transport on metro lines are in Dutch and English. Oh, okay. What, in the courts? Who's going to the courts? Oh, that'd be Putin. Oh, you're welcome, Pierre Dawson. Thank you for helping, mate. And same with Mad Bunk 33 up there somewhere. He's he often helps out. It is very appreciated because it's really hard to keep on top of it. Because when you're doing this and constantly jabbering, talk, you've got your dry mouth and think about the next thing you've got to say. Trying to keep the momentum going, you see. It's quite hard. Then I get sidetracked like I did. Oh, you messaged Lee on Discord as he does the setup for. Oh, okay. As he does the setup for it. Ah, I see. Yeah, I'll get you. Oh no, what I'm saying is I can just stream your through my channel, and then maybe what I can do is I'll make sure I've got some way of linking through. Obviously, I'll introduce your channels. I'm saying, and then carry stream and just bring it. We've done it before. I think a few people came over because of that last time. Not impressed with the quiche, apparently, says Doc Davies. What quiche? My missus makes a fantastic quiche, I have to admit. Oh my god, sun-dried tomatoes. Oh, in a quiche. Thank you all for that. Come on, an English guy turned water into wine. Oh, wine. Do you know what? Because I haven't... I can take it or leave it now, alcohol. Got out of my system. I'm cleansed. I'm a purity. Can't you tell? Oh, okay. Gaelic is spoken in Scotland, particularly in the Highlands. I'm off like cheese, says number 3. Take care, my friend. Good night. I'm going to be going as well. A failed state, that it is. And all the public bus fares are £2 flat. Right. Whereabouts? That's what they are. It's about €2, and you can pretty much go anywhere. You can be on the bus for like 2 hours if you want for €2, which is pretty good. Here in France. The only thing is that they do take a roundabout trip, and it probably takes you that long to get anywhere. Announcements here are the same. All airports and such are got languages and stuff. Oh, that's interesting. Scottish is not a language. Scots is. Scottish is not a language. Scots is. Didn't know. Welsh is official language in Wales. Hence, UK government communications involving Wales have to have a Welsh translations. I do like Mark Drakeford. He seems a genuine geezer. He really does. Emotional as well. It was quite funny watching him. He's taken down the Conservative Welsh numpty, that gammon, and you got your food now. You're eating your food, okay. Sorry, he's going to eat his croquettes now. He prefers his treats though. That's Wally, that is. So, come on, want an English guy turned water into wine. And, yeah, well, I think it's time to go. Oh, what can we do? Oh, dear. Oh. Right, let's get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. God, that geezer I showed you earlier, the angry bloke because Eid disrupting his St George's Day. You can still celebrate St George's Day. We don't generally celebrate these days in the UK anyway. We rarely do. We just go on about our business. My father was born on St George's Day. That might be why he was a Brexiter. So it's his birthday today. It would have been, but he died about 2 weeks after Brexit, after voting for it. I want to leave you with a video. I don't know which one to do. I might have to just do that one. I haven't done that for a few weeks. Do I do that one? Maybe. Got to find it now. I've got to find this video. I'm going to leave you with a video. Not that one. Not whoop-de-woo, Basil. No, not that one. Oh, I found it. Oh, it's a bit silly. You might have seen it already because I have done it a couple of times on here. But right, I'm off, guys. Take care, all, and have a great week. Love to the family, says Reagan Elite. That's all you know, says Lefty Boater. And the secret word of the day is I'm off. It's amazing how the US and UK have such a nut job politicians. Marjorie Taylor Greene, oh my God, she wants flipping guns in the Senate. Or something like that, wasn't it? And she thinks the Roman Empire, they're the government. It's nuts. Russian-funded RT News. Oh, this is different RT. Send St. George to Rwanda. Well, it's over. Was it Pakistan? Was it Pakistan or Turkey or something like that? Or was it Armenia? He was Ellen Balabamouth. He's an Albanian, apparently, or Armenian. I think he's Pakistani. I was reading about it earlier. I did mention it a minute ago, actually, at the beginning of this stream. Can't find it now. No. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. So I'm just going to leave you with something. Some of you would have seen it already, but I'm going to do it anyway because I think it's funny. I do apologise, but I did have a bit of a mad moment during lockdown. What happens when you get locked in for too long and you have to have transport papers just to be able to get anywhere? It was so annoying. And then we had, well, we were allowed to go so far as the crow flies. We were allowed to go 10 kilometres. It was
depressing.
So I thought I'd make a movie. So I made this movie. It's Monsieur Patrol.
No, I've only got 20 rolls left. I better go shopping.
Okay. Well, I understand the position with the supplies. If there was another
you can use a scarf. A scarf is everybody. A lot of people have scarves, and you can use a scarf.
And also, you can kill the virus with a torch.
Hey, what's the date?
Fuck! Ah, fuck!
Damn,
go shopping.
Notte giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo. Delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto Matocino d'amor.
Veuillez raccrocher le pistolet.
Dirty!
Veuillez raccrocher le pistolet.
Cool face masks. Oh, even better. Compact. Mission accomplished, so Monsieur Petroli makes his way back to her indoors. Shit! Hi, honey, I'm home.
Petroli! Petroli! Have you done your chores yet?
Oh, that's not fair. Do I have to?
Yes, get on with it.
I love you, Mr. Radish.
great difficulty, deep vengeance.
As the day draws to an end, Monsieur Petroli expresses his freedom literally. While the sun goes down over the horizon, Monsieur Petroli enjoys a glass of white wine. Or so he thought.
Ta-ta.
I'm so sorry.